come back at some point. I don't know when that'll be. So Deshaun will be out this Friday. Luke Reimer out of the hospital, back and forth kind of a little bit. So Luke won't play this Friday.
Rule said his team was not up to standard against Michigan.
Michigan's an excellent football team, but we could have played better than that. And I say we, because that's not me throwing the players under the bus. That's all of us. And I don't think there's a guy in that locker room that doesn't feel that way. That wasn't good enough. That wasn't good enough at all.
For The Zone, I'm Matt McMaster.
The Husker Max Practice Report, brought to you by Tickets for Less on 1180 and 1620 The Zone.
Attention all you Husker football fans. This season, get ready to cheer on your Huskers like never before. Tickets for Less is offering an exclusive deal that'll have you jumping out of your seat. Use the promo code THEZONE and save big on Husker tickets for every game, home and away. From the electrifying home opener to intense conference matchups, Tickets for Less has you covered. Don't miss a single moment of the gridiron action. Visit ticketsforless.com today. Use promo code THEZONE and secure your seat to witness the Huskers live on the field this season. Hurry, this offer won't last forever.
The pandemic is over, but COVID-19 is here to stay. In fact, it's still among the top 5 leading causes of death in the U.S., just after heart disease and cancer. So this fall, stay up to date with the latest COVID-19 vaccines, just like you do with the flu, because you've got no time for 19. The vaccine may not be for everyone. Please consult with your doctor. Brought to you by Moderna.
PACE, Police Athletics for Community Engagement Organization, is dedicated to preventing at-risk and disadvantaged inner-city children from becoming involved in street gangs, crime, drug use, and victimization.
Flag football for ages 8 to 14 runs through October 20th, and PACE needs sponsors to help pay for refs, jerseys, and other equipment. Go to paceomaha.org to help. And thank you for your support from PACE.
Please go to paceomaha.org to support the PACE mission. Thank you.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Let it fly. Your elevated sports bar experience. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone.
Crossover is crossover dribble.
Sing for the crossover.
Kyrie Irving, crossover in the lane. One of the most famous crossovers of all time.
Behind the back, an ankle breaker on Chris Paul.
Crossover. Double crossover. Crossover continues to evolve.
Crossover is brought to you by Every Little Country. Repair in Omaha at everylittlecountry.com. What does Husker 23 want us to do?
Yeah. What?
Polish this turd, fellas.
Which turd are we talking?
Nebraska's won 2 out of their last 3 games.
Oh, thank you, Nick. Polished. Nice job. Consider it polished.
Come on. Turn the page Tuesday.
All right, I will give you.
I'm in.
I'll give
the
you.
Michigan game is inconsequential.
Yeah.
Nebraska will not see another opponent that looks like Michigan this entire season.
Michigan is the kind of game that you can drop from your RPI.
Exactly.
You know, you get to drop your worst game.
You drop the highest one.
Your highest one, your worst one,
yes.
yeah. And then you are what you are.
Okay, I think we're doing a good job here.
Yeah.
Give us another. Give us a player.
Consider the turd polished. Turner Corker.
Oh, no.
Okay. Hold on.
Come on, give me to spin zone.
I think he's healthy.
Yeah.
Well,
we think he's healthy.
Is that good or bad?
Exactly.
Turner
Depends on how you want to spin it.
Best football is played when it is 4th down and 1.
All right. What if you were to say...
Because he opened a hole on the left side.
What if you were to say that Turner Corcoran's best football is ahead of him?
I would call you a liar.
Oh, okay.
Because if it ain't now, when is it?
What if he...
Unless you know...
He's already played such bad football.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, see, now we're getting negative.
All right.
Now we're
Sorry.
getting negative.
Okay. Sorry.
So this ain't going to be easy to do.
Thomas Fedoni.
Thomas Fedoni.
Thomas Fedoni.
Thomas Fedoni is a true weapon.
True weapon.
There's a little polish right there.
That probably needs to be hit more in stride.
Yeah.
Like, instead of coming back for the football, needs to be on the
You're going
run.
too negative. Too negative.
Well, I'm looking
But
at
he
extra
makes
yardage.
great catches.
He has an incredible catch radius.
He does.
Bang.
does.
Nebraska greater than the New York Giants.
Are the New York Giants greater than the New York Jets?
Oh, wow. I don't think I want to see that game.
I still think the Jets are good.
I actually think the Jets are too.
I agree with you
Jets
guys.
have that defense.
Yeah. The Jets.
Give me the Jets and give me Zach Wilson over Danny Dimes.
Oh. Well,
How do you feel about that?
Just don't call him trash like Rodney Harrison did.
Dude, that was messed up.
That was.
That was messed up.
Hey, how about, though, Chris Jones?
Yeah. Great.
So Chris Jones
good on him.
spun that the other way.
Yep,
did.
called him special.
Did Rodney Harrison apologize to Zach Wilson?
I don't
believe
know.
he has. I don't know. Nothing that's been made
That was
available
very
right now.
uncalled for.
Does he have an
Yeah.
outlet to do so Monday through Friday?
I don't know.
Like
I
to
mean,
sit there,
he could hit up X.
to sit there and talk to another NFL player and be like, "Come on, man, you're lying to me. This guy stinks."
Yeah.
When he clearly didn't stink in that game. Like, I mean, it was the worst possible time to say it.
Well, and Tony Dungy, you could tell, was even kind of uncomfortable. If you watch Tony Dungy during that exchange, he's just kind of sitting there like, I don't know if we want to necessarily go there,
Like if you're
but
gonna,
we are.
if you're gonna pile on, it just that was not the right time.
No,
No.
especially when
everybody
Chris
else is
Jones
piled
says the exact opposite.
Right.
Well,
he just played against
and
it.
he played a good
Zach
game.
Wilson played for
Played a
the
good game.
second and third quarter. Zach Wilson played pretty well.
I keep telling people this. This is not a Zach Wilson thing. It's really not.
Maybe not on Sunday night, but he hasn't been good.
I know the stats wouldn't tell you this, but with the exception of Kenny Pickett, who seems to be maybe worse than him right now.
Well,
but
so that's a good point, because if you look like their first 14, 15 games in the NFL, Kenny Pickett and Zach Wilson have a lot of similarities in terms of stats.
and everybody thought Kenny Pickett was going to make the jump this year.
Maybe Matt Canada should jump off the bridge.
Don't get wrecked by the Texans. Bad call by them.
I think he'll be pushed off the
They got a lot of bridges in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
They do, that big one, that big yellow one
That's the one. Is it the Franklin?
over the Allegheny.
Well, okay. So, anybody been to Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
I've never been
Okay.
to Pittsburgh.
So you know what it's like, Nick,
No.
when you're coming. So I live just outside of there.
When you're going into,
Well, when you're coming from the airport and you
Okay,
go
yeah.
through the tunnel and you're coming towards downtown and you come through the tunnel and then all of a sudden you're out of the tunnel and
just
right
kinda
there on the
opens
left
up.
are the stadiums and then downtown is right there. That is a
It is
beautiful
cool.
shot.
I love.
Yes.
I like Pittsburgh a lot.
I would like to go to Pittsburgh.
North side, south side.
I've only stayed in downtown Pittsburgh, and like even going on like the Roberto Clemente Bridge, like all
Yeah.
that is like really, really cool. Like
It
is a cool
I
downtown.
think it's an underrated city.
I agree.
Very, very hard blue collar. There's not a lot of like newer parts of Pittsburgh. Those are like way out in the burbs. But like if you go to the north side where the Steelers and the Panthers practice facility is, that strip, that's pretty good. They got a downtown where Permane Brothers is.
Oh,
Little, like,
I
warehouse
love a good
district.
sandwich.
Okay, see, guys, it was hyped up too much.
Really?
I thought the fries were very bland in the sandwich.
But okay, so Nick, so being
Just
a
saying.
Midwest guy moving there, fries are part of everything.
I
So
noticed that.
I went to, when I was in Wheeling doing hockey, and Wheeling's about 30 minutes outside of Pittsburgh. I ordered a salad, and so they had like a steak salad. So I got French fries in the salad. Yeah, I didn't know what that was. Like
It's
French
called a
fries
Midwest salad.
French fries are like really, really
Fries are
prevalent.
in the salad.
Yeah.
Do you want the fries in there, or do you want them on the side?
Now,
Have you
Is that a
seen the
question?
new trend about the chicken Caesar salads and the fries?
Yes.
All the girls are eating the chicken Caesar salad and the fries with a side of fries.
Oh, with a side of fries?
With a side of fries, not in the salad. Not in the salad.
I've never heard of French fries in a salad.
This is like a step up from girl dinner.
Mm.
Yeah. In Pittsburgh and West Virginia, Ohio, in that area, like French fries in a salad are like a big deal.
I love a deli, man. Oh my goodness.
I will just say this, not to be Mr. Fall guy. Like, hey, it's fall, it's beautiful. Pennsylvania is
Beautiful. in the
pretty
fall.
scenic.
You like the foliage?
It's like the amount of trees. Like if you ever take the flight from Harrisburg, like we'd always do that from there to State College, or even around as we're making our way into Pittsburgh too. It like the amount of trees and stuff. It's dare I say, it's very beautiful.
It's a lovely place.
It's very beautiful. Pennsylvania is a cool place to like. If you're on a drive, I think you could get caught up in the scenery.
I
there.
drove directly through the entire state of Pennsylvania.
Okay,
once.
so you know.
Yeah, it's. I mean, there's definitely a lot of trees.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
It's not real picturesque. I the last time Nebraska played at Penn State, I met friends in Pittsburgh and then drove across. Yeah, it's okay.
See, I've never done the Pittsburgh to State College. We've done the Harrisburg to State College and then flying into State College. And just like even around like Penn State, it's pretty cool. Like, I mean, there's a lot of trees. The roads are like the most terrifying, windy roads around there.
There's a whole bunch of little communities just tucked in.
The people in Western PA will tell you no. When you get over to Eastern PA, where Reading and Trenton and
that's where it becomes East Coast.
Philadelphia. Yeah. Western PA is like special.
I got one for you. So I've been sort of waiting for this. When will Nebraska play its first football game on Peacock? Maybe it happens at some point this year. But we now know when they will play their first basketball game on Peacock.
Oh, let's go.
So they have 3?
They have 3. The Oregon State game at the Pentagon will be on Peacock.
Yes.
The home games against Purdue and Ohio State will both be on Peacock. So
Creighton is 3:00 in the afternoon.
Get your subscriptions. Get ready to roll.
Tell your people how to work Peacock.
Yeah, Iowa literally sent out a press release today, and it says how to watch the Hawkeyes on Peacock. And they say here are all the ways that you can subscribe, and here are the discounts that they're offering.
So the Iowa Purdue game this weekend in Iowa City is Peacock only.
Correct. That's why they sent that out.
So also, you hear about the Ohio State fans. So Ohio State Maryland's playing this weekend. That's an interesting game.
It is.
It was originally scheduled for Peacock, and then it got moved to Fox. I think it's on Fox. But they had a trade, so Peacock didn't lose an Ohio State game. So next week is Peacock, and Ohio State fans are losing their mind that they should not have to be on Peacock.
Well, Purdue fans are like, "Hey, we're always on Peacock. What's
okay?" So this was a discussion on Saturday, trying to figure out like the Northwestern will not be at night because Nebraska volleyball is on BTN at night.
Okay.
So
I thought that game was already tabbed for night. Isn't it?
I don't think so.
Or am I thinking of Purdue?
But I don't believe that Nebraska feels like there will be a game this year on Peacock.
Okay, we avoided that for now, but get ready for basketball season. All right, I mean, there's still a lot of TBA TV games in here.
Michigan State
could.
Yeah, Michigan State feels like a Peacock.
Feels like that could. I mean,
if it falls off the rails for Nebraska by then.
Yep. And I don't see Michigan State getting on the success train anytime soon.
Feels like Peacock
Are you required to be on Peacock once a year in football?
See, I don't know that yet. I do not know that.
It doesn't seem
I don't.
like
I think they were just kind of rolling it out and just, hey, we got some opportunities here. Big Ten office. Here we go.
Did you know?
I don't think you had to the first year.
Did you know that each of the Pac-12 schools is required to be on the Pac-12 network at least twice?
Yep. That's why UCLA Washington State is on there this weekend. That game should be on regular TV.
So Colorado is making its Pac-12 network debut this weekend. Nobody gets the channel. So everybody's going to be like, well, where's Colorado? And then they'll just forget about them. They'll be like, well, I guess I can't get the Pac-12 network, so I'm not going to watch Colorado this week. I'll have to watch them when they play. They play Stanford at late night after dark next week, so they'll be back on TV for that. But yeah, what a TV deal that Larry Scott set up.
Wow, this is a lot of BTN Plus for Nebraska.
Yeah, a lot of BTN Plus, and like you said, Gary, the Creighton game is set for 3:00, televised by FS1.
So just like last year was 3 or 4, because it was going on during the Bengals Chiefs game.
I feel like it was
like
at
5.
2.
Oh no, I thought it was like late. I thought it was like at 5.
Somewhere.
No,
between
you're
2
right.
and
I think
5.
it was. I think actually no, you're right. It was earlier.
All I know is I was there and
2
I
or
was
3.
like, wow, Derek Walker is wrecking Ryan Kalkbrenner right now. What's going on? And what was going on was Ryan Kalkbrenner had mono.
Do you think starting at 3:00 on a Sunday will throw off Nebraska's watch party for a bowl? And then when they have to introduce the team when they come in with a Big Ten championship trophy, because they will have already been back for a while. Think that'll throw that off? Because it'll be like at 4:00 that the football team comes in with the Big Ten championship trophy.
That's not conference championship weekend, is it?
Do a breakfast.
It is, yeah.
It's not the weekend of the 10th like it usually is?
No, it's
The
I think
first
so, yeah,
weekend
the
in
very
December.
first Saturday in December. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Nebraska will have just got done being
Be one of the greatest
being very competitive with a team from the East
one of the greatest turnarounds ever.
after their West championship.
Way to polish that turd, fellas.
Yeah,
Goes
see,
back
there
to-
we go.
The first
Uplifting.
day of the Big Ten tournament in basketball is on Peacock.
Wow.
Oh, the playing games?
Ooh.
They should be.
The two
You know
Wednesday-
what?
the two
They
Wednesday
should be.
games. I agree.
That's right. Put those on Peacock.
That's going to be a low number.
Yeah, they should be.
So that's another
That's what
incentive
you're
this
avoiding.
year to avoid opening day
Yep.
at Target Center.
Avoid Wednesday and avoid Peacock.
Do it for your fans, Fred.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Do it for sure. You don't want to be on Peacock.
Now, here's my question about Peacock. Why, like if you are in a local market, you like last night in New York or in Seattle, you have one of the over-the-air stations can carry the Monday night game. Why can't you do that? Like if games are going to be on Peacock, why can't
Great
Columbus,
question.
Ohio market carry the game regularly?
Great question.
Yeah.
Lincoln/Omaha carry the game regularly.
That would be nice.
And but if
I
it's
think
but if it's not involving your team,
Yeah.
you got to pay the freight.
Our friends at well, I guess for college football,
Is that because we feel pretty confident that they're going to be playing on that Wednesday?
for college football, it would be difficult because it goes up against another game. So what you would have to do is just flip the network somehow. And I'm not I don't know if that's doable or possible, but yeah. Because you can't just take an FS1 game and put it on regular Fox.
True.
I don't think that's how it works, but I don't know anything about TV. That's why I'm in the radio.
So only 2 games on Nebraska's TV schedule start at 8 or later. At home.
That's good.
Oh, that's great.
Creighton's got a 9:00 tip this year.
Yeah, did we ever get to the bottom of why the Gavitt game against the Hawkeyes is 9?
I would imagine they're doing a triple header.
Yeah, I assume they're probably starting early in the day and then you have the back-to-back. Although why
5-7-9.
does Nebraska get that? I'm sorry, Creighton get that? I don't.
So that'd be good.
It's like bracket busters.
They're the furthest west team in the Gavitt.
Well, that is
in
true.
The Gavitt footprint.
Yeah, we are in the central
except
time
for
zone.
Nebraska.
I'm sure the Creighton, Iowa score will make the New York Post the next morning, starting at 10 o'clock in New York City.
Oh, you mean the final score of 89-81?
Ooh,
that's right. I'm calling it.
You're calling a close game.
89-81. Creighton wins.
Drub Iowa.
Yeah, Iowa doesn't seem very good this year.
Yeah, Caitlin Clark doesn't stand a chance.
Should be a good option.
Yeah, Iowa has lost a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole Big
They're
Ten.
still a McCaffrey.
What are we going to do with the whole Big Ten? It doesn't seem like anybody is really.
This is the year, once again, that Nebraska rises up to a 4 seed.
And they get left out of the tournament because they won games against crap teams.
Yes.
That's exactly. Had this exact conversation with Robin in the press box on Saturday. I was like, it's set up perfectly for Nebraska to win 18, 19 games. And then their net ranking to be 52. And everyone would be like, who's Nebraska beating this year? And the answer is nobody. The answer, because they'll go, they have a super easy non-con with the exception of Creighton and K-State. If you can get out of that thing 8-2 or 9-1 or whatever, and you don't have any, you could not have any quality wins out of any of that stretch.
But you might have the number 1 seed in the NIT tournament.
You might.
And play in Vegas.
You might. That could be fun. NIT would be nice.
NIT's fine. NIT's fine. There's some type of invite, not anything you have to pay for. Not postseason you'd have to pay for, but an actual invite.
You're out on the CBI and the CIT and the other one.
When your athletic department that's going to be starting a big stadium project and when you're asked to pay to be in it, no, I'm sorry.
What is the percentage?
That's not the direction.
What is the percentage of major college basketball teams that make a postseason tournament? Is it above 40?
Okay, so there's
350.
Is it 352 now?
Something like that.
Okay, so 68 plus 32. Another
plus 16 and another 16.
Well, they did away with
One of them?
One of the C tournaments is gone.
I think the CIT is gone.
Okay,
CIT.
so 32.
32 plus
and
6.
then 68.
Okay. So we're talking about over 100. Yeah.
100 to 352. And there are some that want 352 to make the tournament.
Yeah, there are some that are idiots.
Now, I would want it just
Some
because
people are idiots.
Now, I would want it just to see the bracket.
I would not want to see the bracket.
We'll make you a bracket, Gary.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Gary, there's enough
352 team bracket.
There's enough people on Twitter who probably will put that out there anyway.
Bob Huggins wanted that.
Bob Huggins is insane. We know this.
Bob Huggins was probably on a bender.
Why don't the whole season be the tournament?
Saying.
You know what? Some of you might work all off season. You just get one game.
Mhm.
Some of you get two.
You just have to win, and
It's like a survivor pool.
Yeah, it's all about surviving.
You
Sounds
put in
fun.
all that work, and then the first game you'd lay an egg. Shots aren't dropping.
Duke gets upset in the first game, and their
Yep.
season is over.
Yeah, they used to
It's over in November.
They lose
Yeah.
to Mercer.
Yep.
Like, damn it. No more Duke basketball.
Just didn't have the shots falling.
Nebraska
Well,
makes
at least I have time to recruit.
Well, then you got to start rethinking about those self-imposed suspensions. Can't do
Nebraska
those.
makes a run to the winning 150. Oh my
Hey.
God, we're in the winning 150 this year?
Do you put up a banner?
Yeah, you do.
Absolutely.
Heck yeah, you do.
All you got to do is win 3 games.
Hey, did you guys see the? You're a newsy, Josh. Did you see the haunted house at 84th and Center? Got hit.
I did. What's up with that?
Got hit?
They got
Yeah,
hit.
hit and run.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Somebody drove into it.
Drove
Oh,
into it
people
and
keep
left.
driving
I
into
know.
things.
Well, okay. Do you guys? You don't.
People drove into
I
a
think
par
I'm the
3
only one
golf
that lives
course
over
not
in
too that long
area.
ago.
So what the heck
So
is
at
going on?
night, there's a lot of car enthusiasts
Yeah.
that are in that parking lot.
Yeah.
Oh, it's in the Mangelsons area.
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
So, like, I
Yep.
mean, a lot of, people that bring their cars, and they
Mhm.
basically have a car show every night.
Yep.
Coming home from the ballpark, I'll get off there on 84th, and but yeah, somebody drove into the haunted house.
Got a little loose.
They think it's what, intentional?
Oh, I thought-
Intentional?
That's
Yeah.
the way it was.
An
worded
irate
on
former
the,
employee.
Why would you
on the news,
intentionally
yeah.
drive your car into a haunted house?
Maybe it was it could have been a former
I would
employee.
say I like Nick's theory as a disgruntled employee.
Yeah. The guy was told he couldn't be Jason. He was pissed. He wanted to be Freddy Krueger. They said no.
Well, I want to be the stupid werewolf.
I would be the guy that collects money tonight.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I
You're
did
the
not,
guy who has to work the line. You got to be the scary guy while everyone's waiting in line.
I did not-
Sneak up on him.
I did not touch that person. I swear. I swear. They still fired me.
I mean, I guess if you were in the haunted house when this took place, you talk about taking that fear factor to a new level.
It's pretty haunted.
Maybe maybe they're really getting after it.
I went over the weekend, guys. It was legit.
There was a car that came through a wall.
I haven't been to a haunted house in a while. Are they already open?
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
I think they started opening like now they wait. They don't even wait till like October. I think it's like at the end of September.
We were doing
Labor
ads
Day
a couple
weekend?
weeks ago.
Yeah.
I think it is.
It might
Labor Day
be.
weekend haunted house.
Yeah, like right
It
when
might be.
right when the pool's closed, that's when the haunted house is open.
Did you drain your pool? All right, we can open our doors now. Let's go.
Like I don't have anywhere to go. It's
Yeah.
either pool or
Yeah.
haunted house.
Like, yeah, we did close our pool, but just down the street, we saw that Scary Acres opened up.
You still,
Oh,
you
okay.
still do lifeguard work? No, I run a chainsaw without a blade on it every night now.
Yeah, now I'm the creepy little girl that comes up and tries to scare you in like the room that has a bunch of mirrors.
That's it. There's only 2 seasons in Nebraska:
Yeah.
pool or haunted house.
There's always a new one too.
Well, you have a lot of time off once October 31st heats, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I guess when haunted house closes, then the Santas come out,
Yep.
You can.
Oh, I think they intertwine.
and then when the Santas go away, the Easter bunnies come out.
I think they intersect. No,
Oh, you
I,
think
I,
there's
not
You
the
think there's
Easter-
some
not-
overlapping?
Not Santa and Easter Bunny, but I think haunted houses and Santa overlap.
Okay, poll question: Does Santas and haunted houses overlap? Do we overlap? there?
I feel like that could be a creature in one of the haunted houses.
Yeah, we could put a scary
scary
Santa.
Santa.
Definitely.
Yeah.
There's been a whole run of movies that have been
Yeah.
scary Christmas.
Don't they have like evil bunnies, like Easter bunnies? Why not have a Santa then?
This is a good question for people that do the haunted houses. The most random character that's in a haunted house. Like if you saw a Santa Claus that was bloody or had like an axe, in its head.
Be
Yeah,
pretty freaky.
yeah.
That would work.
Yeah.
Santa got
Yeah.
axe murdered.
Yep. Santa, bloody
Santa's in
Santa.
an electric chair.
Yeah.
He had all those toys in that bag.
Santa's
and he
in
was
the
only going to give me
electric
one.
chair.
Yeah, Dad thought he was breaking in. He stabbed him in the head with an
He got
axe.
a bag over his face, but you could tell
Yeah,
because
can
the
you
beard
imagine
is
if-
creeping out.
Can you imagine if there was a haunted house that had a Santa that was just bloody and then a kid was in the haunted house that not known about Santa, and the next thing you know, Santa's been murdered.
That'd be pretty scarring.
Well, that would work out well for the parents. Be like, well, clearly Santa's not with us anymore. You could even do like a haunted Santa's like toy shop.
I think Santa is at that point undead. It's zombie Santa.
That's true. And then, I mean, do you really want to sit on the lap of zombie Santa in December and expect him to get you what you're asking for? No,
he's
going to haunt your dreams is what he's going to do.
I still have the memory of the last haunted house I went to and was in Lincoln. It was right on O Street, like at 17th. And like you wind your way through the house and you get to the end and this guy like jumps out and he scares you. And then he's the guy that opens the door and he goes, "Hey, watch your step."
He's not talking or anything. He's very ominous. And then all of a sudden he's like,
You're like, wait,
he's very helpful.
Should I actually watch my step? Is this some kind of joke?
Yeah. There was always did you guys ever hear this when growing up? There was always that urban legend of everyone knew a haunted house that existed that was like 5 or 6 stories. And on every story, they try to like do something like either push you out of there or like really like terrify you. And if you make it to the next one, if you keep going, you get paid like a certain amount of money for each floor.
Oh, really? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, that was something that no one could ever tell each other where it was, but they always heard about it.
I heard.
It's like the 6th floor, the haunted house.
Really?
They try to push you out.
So it's like a speakeasy haunted house?
I don't think it ever existed.
You just like knock on a door?
Yeah. And then all of a sudden there it is.
In Urbandale, growing up, there was a vacant farmhouse. It was right by the Little League fields. And there was a group that was their haunted house that every year they had. And it was just a vacant barn that was scary. Like one of the senior classes went and burned it down.
Whoa.
Like as their senior prank.
But
this place
prank was arson?
This like there would be cars. Like, you know, the line to get into like Vallas? It would be to get into this haunted house. But everybody in Urbandale had to go to it because it was like super spooky and it was really cool. But yeah, seniors, like maybe like 5-6 years before I was a senior, as a prank, went and burned it down.
What a prank.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Our senior pranks had a tendency to be very vandalistic.
You maybe took it too far.
Yeah, breaking
like
laws.
There was, I think like there was a stretch of every senior prank, there was probably the police were arresting somebody.
Are the reunions well attended, or is there a?
I don't know. When you come back for your high school reunion, do you do a prank?
Who spearheaded an arson prank? That's
I
what I
didn't
want
know
to
if everyone was in jail and they couldn't make the reunion or not.
Let's burn down a house.
That's some red flags if I've ever seen them.
I remember as I got older, somebody said, "Oh, because they wanted they had a memory, like people would be able to know about that class." And I'm like, "That's great. You ruined all the fun for everybody else.
Yeah,
You
no
burnt down
kidding.
what basically is a vacant farmhouse
Your
for 10 months
lasting
a year,
legacy.
just so you could have a senior prank."
Wow.
I
I
mean,
hope
at
the
least
person who burned it down at least was like related to the person who owned the land.
Yeah,
and said, "Go for it."
My senior prank was done by one kid. He's like, "I got this," and he basically destroyed the freshman hall.
Not much of a prank.
He was like, "I got this," and
okay,
you come in on Monday and like the whole freshman hall is shut down because the floor has been flooded.
You do you, Billy.
He set part of it on fire.
Oh,
and then took the black ash and like,
my God,
he had thought about this for a while.
He burned part of the freshman hall.
I'm glad. I think senior pranks probably don't exist much anymore, but I am happy that we don't have to deal with much fire in senior pranks.
Yeah, I've never really had to deal with that. It's never been an issue.
We had a lot of fire because like chemistry classes.
Oh yeah,
like people would try and set things on fire.
The Bunsen burners.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. There's bending of the
Arson
rules,
is
but I
not
don't think
devil.
felonies.
No, I don't think. Yeah.
See what happens when you.
We never
you
dabbled in
You
felonies.
let the white suburban kids just have some fun.
Yeah, scary times.
Jeez.
Text from the 712.
That's 712.
I worked in a haunted house one season. Literally the coolest side gig I've ever had. Making grown men turn into scared little girls. Some of the best fun you could ever have.
Yep. At some point, I'll have to take Reese to one, and I'm sure I will be very jittery. Things just jumping out of nowhere. It's effective. It was definitely effective.
Not when you have the thing in the back of your head. Like in the back of my head the whole time, I'm like, nothing's going to happen.
Something's coming. I don't know. The mirror room,
Like
if I remember my last one, then that's when the clown comes out. That'll get to me.
You're not in any danger, though.
Well, you're not. But it's just that abrupt, like something out of nowhere. It's going to make you flinch.
Yeah, I would have to really immerse myself in the haunted house in order for it to be effective on me.
See, I think we're soft now because we used to be around all kinds of scary stuff. Remember when there used to be all these scary movies? And now there are very few like really gory, scary movies that are in the theater.
Oh no, scary movies are happening still, right? Right, Josh?
Yeah, I went to see Saw over the weekend.
Another one?
Yeah.
What is this one?
8?
10.
Good Lord.
Saw X.
How many
Sucked his
feet can you?
eyeballs
how
Yeah,
many-
but okay, so go back.
How many feet can
Go
you
back
cut
to
off?
like Child's Play and
Oh, yeah.
all of the Friday the 13th. They were all around the same time, and you just kept churning them out.
Yeah.
And it was, like you went to the movies to get scared.
Mhm.
I don't think we get scared anymore.
No.
I was in high school and Scream came
I'm
out,
not
the
scared.
original one. That one got me because I didn't really know much about Scream. We were going to try to see Beavis and Butthead do America, and all of our girlfriends were going to see Scream. And Beavis and Butthead was sold out, so we went and saw Scream. We were mocking it. We thought, oh, this is going to be stupid, but we went anyway because that's where our ladies were. And then we were jumping.
What's the scariest movie you've seen, Josh?
Oh, wow. Off the top of my head,
Purge?
the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
That is a good one.
I haven't seen many, but I do remember going. Everybody in like high school was going to Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, that's
That was a little freaky.
That was the big one.
the most recent one that I saw that freaked me out was Sinister. That was pretty scary.
Great
Who's
news,
in that?
guys.
Ethan Hawke.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
the lawnmower.
Yeah, the lawnmower
Yep.
scene.
Yep.
I was like, what's going on? Where's that line? Oh my God, it's going to do that. No, thank you.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You guys ready for this one?
Didn't like that
Ready.
scene.
Nebraska defensive coordinator Tony White says Nebraska had one of their best practices on
Oh,
Sunday.
no.
Oh, man.
Oh,
It wasn't
Illinois
it
by 40.
Hey, can we
was a
go?
practice.
Hey,
It's okay.
we made it till October 3rd.
It's okay.
It was a practice.
This is not bad. We're so scarred from the past. It's okay to say that.
I know, but
It's okay to say that.
I guess in Tony we trust. I'm just going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Just don't like hearing that.
Now,
it's
obviously-
too soon. It's too soon.
No, the problem
Too
is
soon.
the problem is what they had their best practice a lot in the Frost era, and then they would never win afterwards. They have to
Yes.
win. So they have now pushed all of their chips into this Friday game.
So if
has the line
defense,
changed?
I don't know.
it was still 3.5, just a moment ago. If the defense performs horribly,
It's
then
gonna be a problem.
that is a real thing. You can never, ever, ever speak of it. Even if you feel like it's the greatest practice in the history of all practices, you can't say it.
Remember that Sunday practice? Should have got Fox to come out and
Well,
broadcast that one.
It was so good. They
Was
used
Nebraska
it
more
twice.
competitive
Practice.
in practice Sunday than they were in a game on Saturday?
Absolutely, yeah. I think
Yeah.
that was the point of practice Sunday.
It was a practice.
That's why they practiced
It was a practice.
because they felt like they didn't
Not just
play
practice.
on Saturday.
Yeah, so they practiced.
I wonder if there'd be a follow up to Tony White. Well, did you beat the offense 45-7 as well?
Was it a good day for everybody?
Josh, a question here about a movie that was scary, but I was disturbed, and I still am to this day. And it was like about 6 weeks ago that I saw it. Requiem for a Dream.
Oh, yeah. That movie will mess you up.
You guys seen this?
No.
It's not a horror movie, but it'll mess you up.
Like,
Requiem
it's
for a Dream.
psychological mess with your movie.
Oh, I like that.
Just watch it and we'll discuss. But I would,
I've heard of it.
Oh, it's
Jennifer Connelly.
It's about 20 plus years old.
Yeah.
But it is a messed up movie.
It's about drug addiction.
Oh,
I think that would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like uncomfortable drug
Yeah.
addiction.
Does it like go into like weird trips as far as drug addiction?
Imaginatively evoking the inner landscape of human beings longing to connect, to feel love, and to love and feel loved. The film is a parable of happiness gloriously found and tragically lost. Requiem for a Dream tells the parallel stories that are linked by the relationship between the lonely widowed Sarah and her sweet but aimless son, Harry.
Her sweet butt?
The plump Sarah, galvanized by the prospect of appearing on a television game show, has started on a dangerous diet regimen to beautify herself for a national audience. Doesn't sound scary.
It messes with your head.
Sounds more weird. Oh, Jared Leto's in it? Okay. it's
Yeah,
weird.
then-
Yeah. Got it.
A la Jimmy
Marlon Wayne.
Jimmy
Automatically weird if Jimmy.
Marlon Wayne.
Judge
What?
Jimmy Butler went
Jimmy
inner
Butler.
Jared
Yeah.
later yesterday.
Jared Leto, yeah.
The
Yeah.
emo butler.
Jennifer Connelly does things for money.
Oh,
It's a messed up movie. Like I'm glad I never saw it in the theater.
You guys
But
ever
after watching it at home, I'm like, I got to talk to somebody.
You guys ever seen Memento?
oh.
No, but I
have.
know of it.
Yeah.
I have.
Memento's a messed up movie. Memento, I still have no idea what to think about Memento.
But isn't that the sign of a good movie, though? If it messes with your head, like you walk out of the theater and go, "What was that?"
I would like to be messed with a little bit. Yes,
Maybe.
But would you ever see it again?
I've seen Memento a couple times.
Like I would never go see Requiem for a Dream again. There's not a chance.
No, I don't think I would.
Yeah, see that's why I'm always if I'm
Josh, I've told you this.
into that.
We
I'm
need
gonna see
to
it
have
again.
like there needs to be a room at theaters where people after a movie like that can go and have discussions.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
like a podcast.
Like share some drinks and discuss the movie because you have questions. Because we've all walked out of a movie theater and you leave the theater and you're walking to your car and you know there are other people there and you can hear like a couple discussing what
talking
was
about it.
Remember that one part?
Yeah, you have movie. Then you have movie club. They'll have like
Yeah.
this movie provides a post movie club. It'll be in this conference room B.
The highlight
we will
they
have
show,
popcorn.
The highlight they show of David Stearns is signing Lorenzo Kane.
Apparently,
It was a good pickup. Worked out well.
yeah, this guy's in over his head. I think.
Whoa, Steve Cohen, when was the last time you slept?
Okay, so Steve,
we talk about this?
What's he wearing?
Uncle Steve.
What is he wearing?
They were showing this press conference the entire show yesterday. Uncle Steve, like, there is no better person at looking rich than he is. You know, he owns a baseball team, the New York Mets, and he absolutely does not care.
He's wearing a blazer over a 3/4 zip. And the zip
wearing
is all the way down to the sternum.
Exactly. And then
It's kind of Al Davis
an
looking.
unbuttoned button-down shirt
Yeah.
underneath the quarters.
He's showing off the hamburger.
Okay, you have that much money. Does it really
You don't care.
matter?
No.
Exactly.
That's
like
what
Mark-
he's telling
That's
you.
how you
It's
look
like
rich.
Mark Davis's haircut.
You think I care about the Mets? I'm a billionaire.
This is play money.
A 3/4 zip with a blazer over it is.
Yeah, it's a move.
That's a look.
It's a move. Meanwhile, you got the guy who's trying to impress everybody in a suit. He's like 38 years old.
I remember when Al Davis was like one of his last memorable press conferences. He had what looked like a warrior would have wore underneath his armor. He had like this. It looked like a metal, like sheer, like long sleeve sweater. It was the weirdest. I don't think you could find that even if you tried.
Well,
But
he's a
yeah,
fashion icon.
it was. It was like looked like what old warriors that were getting ready for battle would put their protective
maybe that's
armor
the
over.
message he was trying to say.
It might have been. He was a raider. He was a
He
raider.
wore a sweatsuit basically every day.
Yeah, he was a tracksuit guy.
Velour.
I mean, you didn't have to worry
Drape
about
myself in
things.
velvet. The velvet fog.
I mean, look at John Fetterman, the senator from Pennsylvania,
That's
that
what
wanted
he
to wear,
does, yeah.
hoodies and shorts in
Yeah.
Congress.
I thought he
He
was.
didn't
in
have to
like-
worry. He didn't want to have to, struggle with what he's supposed to wear that day.
I thought he was in like the MMA world when I saw that guy.
Look how blue
Like
collar I am.
that guy's a politician.
Look at Ernie Chambers.
I thought he's the
Yeah.
main bout this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ernie didn't care.
No, he's a t-shirt guy.
Ernie does not care.
He's a t-shirt. T-shirts are more comfortable. To heck with your tie.
Eric says I finally earned some movie points for seeing Memento. Thank you.
Congratulations, Connor.
Thank you, Eric. Appreciate it.
When was Moment? I've never heard of this.
I'm going to say around the turn of the century.
Okay. I never saw it.
Connor, Memento came out in 2000.
Bang.
Look
Nailed
at
it.
you.
I know
Nailed it.
movies.
You could run
Nailed it.
movie phone.
I know the
Hello.
movies that I've seen, I know about. I just haven't-
Just tell me them.
You paid attention is what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's quality over quantity.
I'm glad. I would just love to relive that episode of Movie Phone on Seinfeld.
Hello and welcome to Movie Phone. Why don't you just tell me the name of the movie you want to see?
Come on, Death Blow.
You selected Agent Zero.
Nice.
Oh, the days when we called up to find out
Yeah.
what movies were in or to get scores.
Yep.
You called Score Phone.
And if
Time
they,
and temperature.
if they weren't up to date,
time and temperature.
God, if they weren't up to date, it like ruined your day.
Dude, I called time and temperature like all the time. I thought it was so cool to call time and temperature, or like the rain out line if you're having like a softball or like a baseball
That
game.
was when I was coaching
So they don't
baseball.
have
we
the
always had the
rain
rain
out
out
line
line.
anymore?
Yeah.
They do have the rain out line.
At Fields. I don't want. I wonder if they do it still at Fields. Omaha Softball Association.
I
for
would
the slow
assume they
pitch, I
just
think they have
a line.
I think they have a line
Wouldn't they just send you an email?
or a text, or they have an app now that you could probably check. I would assume they have an app.
They have to rely on everybody calling the rain out
I
line.
haven't played slow pitch for probably like 2015, so it's been a while. But I remember we had a call.
I still play, but I'm not the leader, so I don't have to know.
Oh, there were just days I'm like, God, I hope we're not playing tonight.
I just
so
get
then
it. Yeah,
and there was like rain in the forecast. I'm like, so I'd be calling that thing like countless. Like, oh, we don't know yet. We're just please call back in an hour. I'm like, I was calling back every like 10 minutes.
That was me waking up in the morning, like on Saturday morning at 8:00 as like a 10-year-old. I'm like, all right, are we going to play baseball today? Let's call the rain out line.
The rain out line.
You're like, all games are still on as scheduled.
Yeah.
As of right now.
Yep.
Call back in 5 minutes.
Then you show up and no one's there.
Phil Steele's magazine, which does the schedule and the gambling trends, still have all of the local 800 number for weather.
Oh,
he used to publish
That's awesome.
like above a Nebraska schedule. He'd have the number for weather in Lincoln.
I didn't know that. He did
That's
that.
so cool.
But it doesn't surprise me
is
with all the
attention to
information that he
God, I
has.
called Score Phone so much. We also, Nick, you're a little bit older, but did you ever do updates, like where you would leave like the score update, or like do stringers for Fox or ESPN?
Oh yeah, like the We Are There. Yeah, the We Are There Saturdays and stuff like that. Yep.
I did that once. I
did one in Lincoln.
I did that once for the Associated Press. I had to call somehow, I don't know, my buddy didn't want to do it, and I did it. I think it was for the Iowa game in 2015. They never ended up paying me, by the way.
I think I was here when I did the We Are There Saturday. God, which game was it? It was trying to remember who they were playing. It wasn't Rice, but it was that year. It was the post 9/11.
Oh,
yeah. I had to do a We Are There Saturday. It was I know it was a non-conference team. It wasn't the Rice game though. But yeah, I think it got paid like $150 to do it.
Yeah, all I know is the AP still owes me like $100. Wow.
Yeah.
I would file a complaint. Talk to Eric Olson.
Oh, I tried to call. I had no idea who to call.
Yeah, but I would once do updates for Score Phone.
Score Phone.
Oh, nice.
So I've grown up mostly in the era where you could look up the scores on the internet or on the bottom line on the TV or something like that. So I don't know much about it, but I do remember going to remember the ESPN zones?
Yes.
Yeah.
So they had those around the country, and they had
Chicago had one.
Yeah, and we were at one of them, and we had won. I don't even know how this happened, but we won what was basically the equivalent of a beeper. And it gave you
like a score update beeper.
It gave you the score.
Oh,
ESPN the phone.
That's awesome.
I don't think it was exactly that, but it was just like a little white kind of. It looked like a timer, and it just gave you the scores on there. And I thought it was the coolest thing. Like, this is great.
Mm-hmm.
It tells me the scores in my pocket.
What you just completely made me. I think it was West Telemarketing, that ESPN the phone. That was
ESPN the phone.
Was that like what 20 years ago? It wasn't that long ago.
We were doing some weird stuff in 2000.
Yeah, the ESPN.
We got crazy.
They were just ahead of their time.
Yeah. Then the internet just fixed everything.
I know.
ESPN the phone.
Now it's a text message about, hey, we're not playing tonight.
Yep. Push notifications.
Ooh,
Amazing.
we have another day of back-to-back Rule and Satterfield on Sims.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah.
What's Marcus saying?
The duality.
He's getting better each day. He's out there. I wouldn't say he's 100%. He's getting close there.
Nah, okay. Well, if he's not 100%, then forget about it.
Who do we believe, Matt Rule or Marcus Satterfield?
Yeah, Matt Rule had me thinking yesterday we might see him on.
Yeah,
Friday.
and now you got Marcus Satterfield who's pumping the brakes. Jeez, they love playing this game. It's like good cop, bad cop.
Which does the head coach like Jeff Sims, or does the OC like Jeff Sims?
I think the head coach likes Jeff Sims.
Yeah. I don't. Well, it's still more about his health than anything, right?
It is.
But I still do feel like the head coach
our
likes.
updates seem to be a little bit different.
We seem to get conflicting reports on the variance of his health. Yes.
And I feel like both quarterbacks get discussed differently when it comes to mistakes.
Why don't we hear from Jeff Sims?
Well, because he's hurt.
Last time we heard from Jeff Sims post Minnesota,
He hasn't played.
that's a long time.
Did he talk after the Colorado game?
I don't think so.
No.
He was hurt.
Okay.
He'd already.
I don't need to hear anything from Jeff Sims right now.
Okay. All right.
Not even a how you doing, buddy? not even a how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'd like to say how you doing, buddy.
How you doing, buddy? How are things?
I don't need him to come up and be like, "Oh, my ankle's still
I tried your
hurts."
combo the other day. Not bad.
You want to see me cut?
Crisp meat. Yeah, go ahead. Let's run a little cone drill for me.
Do you think that if by chance, like as we get closer to Friday, you see more Jeff Sims attached to Amigos, he has let Amigos know that he is playing?
He's told Amigos I'm back. He sent him a press release.
And all of a sudden Amigos is like, oh, okay, that marquee?
Fire
Number
it back
7's
up.
back.
Yeah, I've been paying attention to that little sign.
It
It's
does
still
say
up.
the Jeff Sims
Yep,
meal
it's
is
still
here.
there, and the little sign is back up. I swear to you, though, it was not up after the Colorado game.
You think a lot of people drive down, 80 whatever in Dodge right there, and
The
they're
Hulk?
like, Jeff Sims?
Oh.
Who is Jeff Sims? And why does he have a meal?
I got to admit, I was, because there's a lot of
Whole
criticism towards Jeff Sims. I was always looking to see if anything looked like it had been thrown at it. I know. I
don't think it's that bad.
Well, this is where my mind goes. Some people take it really serious. It didn't look like there was any residue or anything on it.
Man,
Who
that
So
guy
everybody's being
is,
respectable.
who breaks the story on Jeff Sims starting his next game at Nebraska?
Pete
Thamel
Thamel.
or Amigos?
Pete Thamel.
What if Pete Thamel has to quote Amigos?
Pete Thamel's going to do another tweet on Friday morning.
According to Amigos Twitter or
Okay.
X.
So quickly here, we'll play the game, and then I know you guys got to get on the show. Who is the loose lip inside of Nebraska football for Pete Thamel?
Yeah, who's dropping the knowledge to the Pete tweets?
Seamus? No.
I don't know.
No. it would
What
be
if it's
Seamus.
the head coach?
Matt Rule and Pete type?
They text Pete in the morning.
Do you think
We're going with Heinrich today.
at Big Ten Media Days, Pete slipped Matt a C note and said, "Hey, anything you got to throw it my way?"
Do you remember sitting next to Pete at Media Days and how kind of weird he is?
Yeah.
Have you listened to him talk?
Yeah.
He was
It's kind of weird.
He was like, it looked like he was a robot and he was glitching.
Isn't that what all insiders are like?
I guess so, but what a life. What a weird
robot that was glitching.
He was sitting there hammering away at his computer, and then every once in a while he would sort of like
Do you think that's when maybe new information came in? Is when he glitch?
Maybe.
It's like his whole
But
body reacts
but
when there's
his-
breaking news.
Like you see, like Woj, like they're on their phone all the time.
They
Like
have
Schefter
7
has
of
to
them.
have 2 phones.
Yeah.
What a life.
Rittenberg is kind of that
It
way,
sounds like
too.
a horrible life, honestly.
It really does.
I don't want to. Nobody wants to do that.
But I will.
Rittenberg's
So I'll
kinda
give
glitchy.
credit Thamel this. That's one thing college football hasn't had. Is
But
like an
Rittenberg's got like
insider.
the writer background.
Yeah, he does.
You know?
Yeah.
But
He's
college
he's
football's
more
never had
writer.
like that insider that's giving you the information you get on football Sundays.
Oh,
right.
So at least he provides that.
Pete Thamel does not follow Amigos.
He better. He had better.
He's gonna miss out on a scoop.
It'd be a first in the
I would
NIL
love.
era.
I would love that he would actually have to use them as a source.
Yeah, source amigos.
In his breaking news.
And the only people that
Sources
would
say.
know are people that live in Nebraska or are familiar with Amigos.
Yeah.
People around the country would be like, man, who's the insider at Nebraska?
It would be really-
who's this Amigos guy?
I think it'd be really groundbreaking in the
It's
NIL
amigos.
game.
It
like
would.
Yeah.
if we got an amigos.
yes.
tweet. Yeah.
It really would be.
Sources with
Like-
intimate knowledge of the situation confirm
So-
that Jeff Sims will start on
So,
Saturday.
like Gary Michaels clothiers.
Yeah.
Like they announce as Jeff Sims is wearing one of the new Blazers.
Also,
That's how
he's
they announce
back.
he's
Yep.
starting.
Yeah,
And
he
they
tur-
break the story.
he turns around and there's like a bunch of there's a bunch of sequins on the back and it spells out QB1.
But Rule finds out about it and he says, not today.
You could also buy this jacket.
I mean, imagine all the money that Taylor Martinez could have made when it was always up in the air. Is he going to play or not?
Yeah.
Instead of having his dad go to ESPN,
Yep.
Despite like the pleas of Bo
There you
Pelini
go.
to don't say anything.
Lincoln's best podiatrist comes out with a picture and they take a picture of his foot. And then on his foot, there is a Sharpie written message. It says, smiley face. I'm back. Nobody wants to see Taylor Martinez's foot, though.
No.
Don't you miss those days?
Oh, I miss a lot about 2010. That's for sure.
2013, 14 range.
I just miss Taylor Martinez press conference.
I miss
days.
Taylor Martinez in general. Yeah.
Taylor press conferences.
Wish we could have gotten more out of him when he was back.
They were amazing.
Still making apps though, so that's good.
Yeah.
All right, guys, have a great afternoon.
Bye bye.
That is bye bye. That is the crossover powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. We'll start things off next.
That's the crossover. The Connor Happer Show is next on 1620 The Zone. Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
Do we have to get the elbows out and make a little room at the top of the NFC food chain for Detroit?
When we went through that exercise about what would make a successful season for every franchise, the thing I said about the Lions was hosting a playoff game. It's hard not to think that A, they are the favorite in that division, which means, John, then B, they will probably be a 3 seed at worst.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast, presented by Bellevue Berry and Pumpkin Ranch, from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Your Tuesday morning forecast will include partly cloudy to mostly cloudy conditions, remaining mild throughout the morning and early afternoon. Spotty showers possible as we progress throughout the late afternoon and early evening. Afternoon highs topping in the upper 70s and lower 80s. More chances of strong to severe storms west of the metro for later on this evening into the overnight. I'm meteorologist Anthony Copeland for KETV News Watch 7.
The Zone Hotline is powered by 42 Degrees, The Source, by your mom's house. Start your engines.
Joe's Indoor Karting in Council Bluffs is off the charts crazy. Joe's Karting is fast-paced, adrenaline-pumping, wheel-to-wheel racing action at over 40 miles per hour. The only speed restriction on these karts is how good you are. Joe's Karting is located just a couple of blocks north of Bass Pro Shop and directly east of AMC Theater in Council Bluffs, Iowa. Go watch a movie. Come race at Joe's. Planning a bachelor party, graduation party, or just a night out with friends? Go to Joe's. Remember, Joe's Karting is your place to race.
Email unsportsmanlike conduct on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox with whatever is on your mind, from your hot takes to what you think is one. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
It started in Lincoln. Now it's in Omaha. It's Muchachos. At the heart of Muchachos is family. Muchachos uses new Mexican flavors with smoked barbecue passed down from generations. This flavor sensation is called New Mexican Barbecue Fusion. Come get your eat on and nosh on slow smoked pork brisket, chicken, queso, and mac. Try the fan favorite Hatch Mac Burrito with a craft beer or margarita. Muchachos is south of the Old Market at 1285 South 13th Street, or check them out at yomuchacho.com.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Join the movement to end breast cancer. When supporting Making Strides Against Breast Cancer, you're helping save lives through groundbreaking research and patient support. Join the movement or donate today at makingstrideswalk.org/LincolnNE.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. hims.com/radio.
Attention sales professionals. NRG Media is looking for an accomplished business-to-business salesperson who wants to take their success and skills to a new level. Is this you? Our account executives work with local businesses to create marketing plans to help them get more customers. On-air, digital, on-site, audio, video, it's all part of what you can sell. A sales career with NRG lets you make a real difference. Get more info and apply online at nrgmedia.com. NRG Media is an equal opportunity employer.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
It's the Connor Happer Show. Are we sure we want to do this?
Could you make an announcement that we're ready?
It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, welcome in. Happy Tuesday. It is the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer and Josh Odson with you on the start of the Major League Baseball playoffs. Since we all care about that, we love baseball.
Who doesn't
There
care
will,
about that?
there will be a game at 2 o'clock, 2:08 to be exact today, between the Texas Rangers and the Tampa Bay Rays on ABC.
Network television.
Network television. Who said baseball was dead? And then 3 more wild card series games: Toronto, Minnesota, Arizona, and Milwaukee. America's team, Arizona, and the Marlins and the Phillies tonight at 7 o'clock. And Josh is nervous because he keeps seeing clips of Reese Hoskins doing baseball stuff.
Don't let the Phillies get hot.
Josh is going to be knowing myself when my team was in the playoffs a number of years ago. Now we won't talk about how many. I was an emotional wreck for the entire month. Josh has been an emotional wreck for at least the last October that I knew him. Certainly the year before that as well.
It's different this time around because the expectation is to win everything.
Yes, that was like the Royals in 2015. I was like, well, if they don't win this, then when are they ever going to do it again? Now that's not the case. That's not exactly the question that you're asking yourself, but it's a long year.
2021.
It's a long year to get back.
Braves were playing with house money and ended up winning the whole damn thing.
Yeah, because of Jorge Soler.
Yes. Hip hip Jorge.
The Royals just gave him to him. Here you go.
Thanks.
Here's Jorge Soler.
Now he's a Marlin.
He is. And he's ready to do some damage on the Phillies tonight. So we will touch on a little bit of that. We'll go back through our Major League season picks this year and see how poorly we did, or good. Who knows? We'll ask some questions about Husker football. We'll dive into a few of the things that Matt Rule had to say yesterday when he was fired up. It seems as if that energy has carried into today, which is good, with Marcus Satterfield and Tony White talking, Ben Scott a little bit as well. You think we're angry? Did they wake up pissed off like Trey Palmer? Who knows?
Oh, yeah.
But like I said yesterday, I mean, I don't know. Like, I know how teams usually do this, and obviously Nebraska's on a short week this week, so the format is a little bit different. So the timing was probably right. But having a Sunday full contact practice is a pretty wild move.
Practice.
I think we're going to end up talking about that a lot this week and what they did on, especially if they win. I guess even if they lose on Friday, we're going to end up talking about that piece of a lot. That is a wild move. Practicing full contact on Sunday, but it sounds like it's maybe what they needed. And there are some that are even saying it was their best practice. Now, nobody has said yet that it was their best week of practice because the week is not complete. But that theory is out there. I updated our drive chart. I also threw in the defensive side, and I got some numbers for you, which we'll dive into during the show today. We'll ask the Jeff Sims question again. Is this going to crop back up this week? Nebraska had a portal entry yesterday.
Did they?
And if one more, yes, they did. Yes, they
couldn't read it.
If I couldn't either, but I deduced that they had a portal entry yesterday. And if one more person sends me the Texas Tech score in 2004, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Oh, but Connor,
I'm gonna lose my mind.
You know they scored 70 that day.
How is that tweet still getting responses? Stop it. I've collected enough information at this point.
Tell me you're a tiny baby boy without telling me you're a tiny baby boy.
I remember the 04 Texas Tech game. I remember what the score was.
Hey, Melvin Gordon just scored, Connor.
Also, don't come at me with Melvin Gordon, the Melvin Gordon game, the 2014 Melvin Gordon game. Don't come at me with that. Nebraska was winning that game 17-3. Nebraska was not helpless in that game.
Tell me you don't know how to read without telling me you don't know how to read.
Yeah,
Twitter.
People are just so snarky. So snarky. So just PSA to everybody, stop responding to that tweet. It's now closed. It is now closed.
But he can't delete it because if he does, then everybody's going to go,
Then I'm a coward.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to delete it. I considered it at one point.
You understand the game, and I tip my cap to you for that, sir.
I didn't try to do this, but this is the way it turned out. And with every response, it just bothers me further and further. We will also ask the question, is the Colorado obsession done? Where's Coach Prime on my TV?
Where is he?
I don't see him anymore. He's not there.
It's a get right week for the Buffs.
Well, good thing. Nobody will be able to watch them this week. They're on the Pac-12 network.
Sad.
Playing Arizona.
Not terrible.
Not terrible. Shout out Jed Fish, your coach. All right, so we got that coming up today. Allan Bell will join us at the bottom of the hour. And Bob Asmussen will join at 1 o'clock, and we will talk about Illinois, who is Nebraska's opponent this week. How have things gotten to where they've gotten to for Illinois? Remember, stoppable force versus movable object. This Friday, 7 o'clock, FS1, Nebraska, Illinois. And it is, I mean, as I said in their crossover, Nebraska, it seems as a staff, has sort of pushed all of their chips into this game. They've pushed all their chips in, and they've said, hey, I like this team. I know that they're going to respond. And they frankly need to. If Nebraska loses this game and falls to 2-4, and they've lost to a middling Big Ten West team, if not, I don't know where Illinois is going to end up. You know, a middling Big Ten West team they've already lost to one of those this year in Minnesota. Like, you know, that's the type of thing that could, you know, derail things. There's still wins out there. And we'll ask the question, of course, what will Nebraska's record be in their next 4 games? We didn't really dive into that yesterday, and we will ask it again today. Also, NFL reaction, overreaction, which will be quarterback-centric today. We will make some declarations about NFL quarterbacks. Are they the answer? Are they not the answer?
A theme for reaction, overreaction.
That's right. I love a theme, Josh. I love a theme. So we'll dive into a few quarterback names that have either sat below their expectation or above it to start the 2023 season. We'll also talk about that with AB coming up here in just a little bit. The lineup is powered by the Rooferys, John Higgins Weather Guard. We would love it if you got in touch with the show, 402-951-1620 on the 42 Degrees of Source hotline. You can call there. You can also text that number as well. Twitter at Happer Show, at Connor Happer on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. Email Connor at 1620thezone.com on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. We say good morning to our YouTube watchers. And for those of you watching along on our Twitch stream, that can be found very easily, very accessible at 1620thezone.com.
Oh my goodness. That sounds incredibly simple.
It is. You just pull up the website and then boom, it's there.
It's right there in front of your face.
And if you're moving, you're like, man, I don't know. This app is kind of weird, or the signal isn't so good. Just pull up your YouTube. We're there.
YouTube, strong signal.
We are there. All right, so we'll take a break. We'll start things off. We'll jump into some of the things that Matt Rule had to say yesterday, and I want to replay that long quote that he had, the thing that he had to get off his chest yesterday. We'll do that when we return on 1620 The Zone. But first, it's time for another Woodhouse Wednesday on 1620 The Zone this week. This Wednesday, which is tomorrow, you can enter to win a Golf Essentials prize pack. What's in a Golf Essentials prize pack? A rangefinder, a trunk organizer, and $250 to Top Golf. That'll take care of yourself and some others. Plus, when you win a Woodhouse Wednesday prize pack, you're automatically entered to win the grand prize of $2,600. Enter tomorrow at 1620thezone.com.
The Connor Happer Show. Follow us on Twitter at Happer Show for all the latest news and views. We may even say something interesting once in a while.
Unlikely.
Really, guys? The best way to catch all the action is on 1620 The Zone. And no line for the bathroom.
We created a simple PDF that gives you everything you need to know about branding, designing, and building a website that increases revenue. Download the website playbook for free at jmonline.com. If you're considering a website project but not sure who to hire, go to jmonline.com and download the free website playbook. It's a guide to a high-performing website. That's jmonline.com.
Get a full breakdown of what went right and what went wrong immediately after every Nebraska game with Big Red Overreaction, presented by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally, and by Coors Light, keeping Nebraska chill. Also brought to you by J. Sennett Contracting, Tinman's Collision Center and Mechanical Repair, and Rotella's Italian Bakery. Immediately after the game, join the show and sound off with the good, the bad, and the ugly. Big Red Overreaction with the Keg and 1620 The Zone.
Vallis Pumpkin Patch and Apple Orchard has something fun for all ages. Come take a ride on the antique cars, where the kids are the drivers. Visit our foam ball play area called the Egg Scramble. Stop by the cider mill area where you can have a drink of refreshing apple cider and taste some deliciously good barbecue at Ethan's Applewood Smokehouse. Vallis has more than 50 other attractions included with admission, along with fireworks every Friday night at 9. Vallis, the place to visit this fall.
If you love food, love fun, love fall to a Vallis Pumpkin Patch, best of all.
At Staples, you can count on every project being print perfect, guaranteed.
I need invitations and posters printed, and they have to be perfect.
I need beautifully bound booklets and presentations for my business.
Your invitations and booklets will be in captivating color and will be done right every time. That's Staples Print Big Promise. And right now at Staples, get $50 off your print purchase of $150 or more. Try Staples and see the difference. Ends 10/14. Exclusions apply. See associate or visit staples.com/print for details.
Duck Defense Midwest makes your home healthier and improves the life of your HVAC system. So improve the health of your home and everyone in it. Go to cleanairradio.com for a special duct cleaning offer for Zone listeners. That's cleanairradio.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Let it fly. Your elevated sports bar experience. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone. Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620, The Zone.
All right, back to yesterday with Nebraska football and Matt Rule and his press conference. He covered a lot of ground, and he had something that he wanted to get off his chest. So keep in mind the question here. Question for you. Is it a good time to get on the road? Well, Matt Rule answered that very quickly, and then he talked about what he needed to talk about. Here he is.
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think that we're blessed to have these fans. It's like Terrence Knighton said. Terrence was like, "Man, we're played that badly," and let's make sure we say this now. Okay, after the game, you asked me a question, and the NFL had to answer you the next day. Here, I get a day, and I would have answered you the next day. We didn't play very well. Okay, we didn't play well enough. That's not to take anything away from Michigan. Okay, Michigan's an excellent football team, but we could have played better than that. And then I say we, because that's not me throwing the players under the bus. That's all of us. And I don't think there's a guy in that locker room that doesn't feel that way. So that wasn't good enough. That wasn't good enough at all. So we're not. It's not the crowd. No, I'm saying, like, I don't care where we play next. Like Terrence Knighton said to me, I can't believe we played that badly, and people were still there and they're cheering for us and all those things. I mean, it's an amazing. You can't help but say thank you to the people that came. But we got kind of how I really feel. I'm trying to get the players to stop thinking about all of this other stuff, like play. Like, we went out and played Minnesota. We played good football against Minnesota. We were flying around on defense. We were hitting people. We looked the way it's supposed to look. And then some things went wrong, right? We got a bad call at the end of the half. We scored a touchdown. It doesn't go our way. Okay, great, whatever. We come back, we battle. We fumble the ball at the end of the game. We throw a pick. We lose the game. We go to Colorado. We're playing pretty well. All right. We had 3 turnovers. I wouldn't want to talk about the turnovers. I keep saying to the guys, like, it was 13-7 with 6 minutes left in the third quarter. We lost 36-13. Like, we kind of accepted the fact that we were going to lose. And so, to me, Bill Walsh said it, champions behave like champions before they're champions. They have a winning standard. So I want a winning mindset. And, we played Northern Illinois. We played La Tech. We're a defensive football team. The defense has to learn that we're a defensive football team. They've got to play great defense while the offense throws, kind of plays body blows. We don't leave the offense out there in 4 wides, dropping back and throwing it 50 times a game. We did that the last couple of years, right? And everyone said, hey, it doesn't work here. So why would the defense want us to still keep doing that? So I'm saying all that to say that we've got to get to the point where we go out and play, and it doesn't matter if I'm getting double teamed as a D lineman. It doesn't matter what the call is. It doesn't matter if we're down 14-0. We got to play. And that's the winning mindset. And whereas the guys have to, again, kind of probably not listen to everything that's out there, what you should be doing. There's no you should be doing, at least in this building. It's like, go play. It's a football game. So, Steve, I expect we have some really good players. They're going to play in the National Football League. They need to show up. Like, they need to show up. Like, the good players from Michigan, I know, I can tell you who they were because I watched them on the field, okay? Our really good players need to show up. And that's not me calling anybody out. That's me giving them confidence that I believe they can do it. There's a big difference, right? I'm not calling anybody out by name. We have guys that I believe on our team can absolutely wreck a game. And I want to see them wreck the game. And this whole, I'm just overthinking it a little bit, coach. I'm worried about this. I don't want to make a mistake. Okay, enough. The first play, everyone's, all these texts, man, what a great catch. Caught him on his helmet. Cover 3 in the middle safety players at 5 yards. Just missed assignment. Second play, touchdown, missed assignment. Third play, missed assignment. All the touchdowns, missed assignments. So we're better than we played, right? So you tell me I want to get that off my chest to the guys. I love our guys. And all I want our guys to do is play football with confidence. I don't want them playing football afraid to lose. Play football with confidence. And so that's my job. I haven't gotten it done yet. So I'm anxious to play on Friday.
I got a couple of tweets after the game, and then I saw this as a conversation going around. And for the record, I agree with your guys' assessment. And the thought was, and didn't it sort of just seem like Nebraska was kind of just going through the motions a little bit on Saturday? And there wasn't really any sort of expectation that they would win. We talked about that going into the game with the no buzz thing. And I think that's, to an extent by design. That's how they want to sort of do it. It's a nameless, faceless opponent. But the fact of the matter is, you have to play football with some level of emotion. And you have to go in with some level of confidence and the understanding that, hey, if we play well enough today, and if we do our jobs, and if we make some plays with that emotion behind us, then we're going to have a chance to win a football game. And maybe Nebraska wouldn't have on Saturday. I don't think that they would have anyway, right? But the disappointing part about that game was the fact that, according to Matt Rule, they just straight up didn't show. And so now Nebraska is using this as a learning experience. And you can hear and see the response this week. He was asked yesterday if they felt like if they were hesitant at all. Number 2, Josh, here's Matt Rule.
Yeah, we absolutely we were hesitant in the way that we played. Like our pass rushers rushed to try to keep their quarterback in the pocket instead of cutting loose to go rush the quarterback because he ran for a touchdown. He ran for a touchdown because one of our young D linemen went the wrong way and didn't execute his assignment. You can't play football trying not to make mistakes, right? You just can't do it that way. You got to attack, and especially a team like Michigan, right? Like you have to attack. The bigger thing for me, and I'm saying this out loud so that it's spoken into existence, is I want to be the type of team that we're playing like this, and then we get down 14-0, and we're like, oh heck no, I'm not playing like that. I'm not losing 45-7 in front of my mom. Like I'm gonna play better, not jumping out and doing my own thing, but trusting ourselves and trusting our technique. So when people say learning how to win, if you haven't won a lot, it's hard to figure out how to win. So it's like, I'm doing this. Okay. We lost because we made mistakes. Don't make mistakes. I'm gonna do my own thing. If you have confidence like that, the team we play with confidence, right? You go out there, you play with a little swagger, you do your job, you do it at a really high level. Their longest play was 29 yards. It wasn't like it was like, just running by us. We couldn't cover. It was 29 yards on a busted assignment. We could have played better than that. So I think it's that hesitation of not wanting to be the guy who messes up, but great. we need our great players to be great players, and we need them to go make plays and make plays within the scheme, not outside the scheme. So that was pretty clear last night. And I take full responsibility. My job is to teach them how to win. So if we haven't figured out yet how to win, we were so close at Minnesota. That was what it was supposed to look like. And just because we lost doesn't mean you start searching for different answers. You just double down on what we did then. So here we are on the road again. We have a chance to go on the road, play a good team. Let's go do what we were doing.
So that was Matt Rule yesterday, and I was sort of curious, and we wondered out loud about this last week. How do you encourage this idea that, and Matt Rule wouldn't go this far, but Nebraska needed to play with a little bit more fire and a little bit more emotion, a little bit more intensity, and they needed to sort of bring it on Saturday. Obviously, it's in the execution too, but just I think what he's talking about is mostly the approach. How do we approach this? How do you balance preaching needing more of that and the attitude and energy that you're bringing to it this week with the way that you guys want to play football, which is sort of methodical, which is kind of, hey, it's a nameless, faceless opponent, and we are the team that's going to play pretty good defense and hope our offense doesn't screw up, right? He called it body blows yesterday. That's how I would say it, not screw up. That question was asked yesterday. I thought it was a really good one. I think Mitch asked it. Number 8, Josh. How do you balance that more fire with your style of play and the way that you're teaching your kids to do things?
I'm not saying fire. I'm not saying our guys weren't fired up to play. I'm not saying they were flat. I'm saying no. But I'm very specifically what I'm saying is we are a team of great guys that we don't want to make mistakes and lose the game. Okay, and so you can't play that way. You got to do your assignment. Like, you don't get to just say, hey, I'm supposed to block Sam, but I'm going to block Sean instead. You got to do your assignment, but like, you got to attack it. You can't go out there and be like, I don't want to get beat. So if you have 7 guys on offense trying not to get beat, like, who's knocking anybody down? The great Cornhusker teams, they talked about knockdowns. We had like 100 some knockdowns 2 weeks ago, and we didn't, on the 4th and 1 play, I'll always take the heat, like, take the questions like, hey, should we run this? Should we run that? No one was on the ground on a 4th and 1 play, not one player, because we're all trying not to get beat. So I'm sending this message so that everybody on our team knows what it is, and everybody. So I don't think it's fire. That being said, the process to me is it's never the schedule. It's not do we practice on Sundays or Mondays. The process is that we have a standard of performance, a mindset that we attack everything. We try to go 1-0 every single day. We try to get 1% better. And when we don't, we take responsibility for it. We attack like lions, everything that we do. And so the only crime against the team ever is to accept losing, to accept losing. So I thank Coach Harbaugh at the end of the game. I said, thanks for letting us play that out, right? Like 2 weeks ago, we had the lead. Who was it? Northern Illinois went down and scored as the game was over, and kind of people were kind of like, I was like, no, they got to get ready for their season, right? We lost that day. But the onside kick, like most times you wouldn't want to show your onside kick. We did it. Didn't look very good. We're going to get better from it. So that's the mindset for me. I was on the officials to the very end of the game, like, hey, throw that flag. Like, we're going to play till the end of the game. So that's the process for me. That's the methodical nature. It's just, hey, come after every game, tell the truth. We win, we lose. What happened? We could have played better on Saturday. Our guys are such good guys. They don't want to lose, but we're not going to win until we start to attack.
And that message has been sent this week over and over yesterday. And by the fact that you're practicing on a Sunday night after a Saturday game against the number 2 team in the country, like, once again, I just want to drill home how unheard of that is, how insane that is. The football players refer to what they do on game day as going through multiple car crashes every week. To come back and practice and do that on a Sunday, that sends the message that we didn't play on Saturday.
Yeah, you don't get to be hurt.
Yeah, we didn't play on Saturday, so if you're not beat up because you didn't play yesterday, so you have to come out and play a game today. Then, and I like the sort of energy of it this week. It feels good. So the message has been sent. Obviously, they've pushed all their chips in to Friday's game and in the sort of next stretch of games where Nebraska, dare I say, does have some winnable games coming up. On the text line.
Hi, text line.
From the 308.
Hi, 308.
Out in Western Nebraska. Wow. Why have we been in our heads for 15 years? I feel like this started with Bo. It's a good question from the 308. Why? Oh man. I don't know. I think a lot of it has to do with where Nebraska feels like it needs to be on the grand scape of college football and what's rightfully theirs, and there's some entitlement that's sort of thrown in there too, and living up to expectations, and there's a giant fan base and all of that stuff, and it's hard to sort of shut out that noise. And as far as this time around specifically, I think it's kind of ingrained in players' heads. They haven't won. Like, they haven't gotten over the top and won, especially in one of those big games. And they haven't played well, right, in big games for a really long time. So that's the primary task this year for Matt Rule. How do they do it?
Can I present you with a fact that is happening in front of us right now, and and get your take on it?
Yeah, give me the facts, Josh.
There's a press conference going on right now in Lincoln, just wrapped up, with Ben Scott, who did his media availability in full pads. Connor, your thoughts?
Well, Ben Scott is the guy who drinks milk. He loves milk. Remember when he committed to Nebraska? He was just like, I love milk.
Yes.
That's a football guy move.
Feels like a little bit of a message.
That's a football guy move.
Also saw a couple quarterbacks do that after some tough losses in the NFL on Sunday. Tua did it, and the other one escapes me.
I think Heinrich Harburg had full pads on still after the game on Saturday, and he definitely did a couple Saturdays ago. Remember when he took that picture with Eric Crouch and Tommy Frazier? Credit me, by the way.
Yeah, credit Connor Happer. You thieves.
So I think, yeah, it just sort of depends on how long you want to keep the pads on. If you're a football guy, I guess you just want to keep the pads on all day long.
Your time to talk is your time to talk. You got to meet the schedule. Don't want to throw off everybody in the room and the other people speaking, but
you just walk over. You don't want to spend a whole lot of time. You got to walk back to the locker room and then back over to change your pads.
Feels like, to me, skeptical me, it feels like a message.
Maybe he's just a football guy.
Both things can be true.
Or
your thing.
Yeah. I don't know why Nebraska, like the origin story of why Nebraska is in its own head. I mean, it's obviously true.
Yes.
It's obviously true. You can't depend on this football program to play well. Like, you don't know what you're going to get on a game-to-game basis. It's the most frustrating thing about watching this program. And I think more so than results. Obviously, people want results. More so than results, people want to know what to expect. It's comforting. It makes you feel nice. It makes you feel warm. Right?
It's got to be on the box.
It's a guarantee on the box. So people want to know what to expect. I always use this analogy. You show up to the yard. If you're playing baseball, you show up to the yard, and you know that if you know going in, because you did it yesterday and you did it the day before, that you're going to be playing right field and hitting sixth, then there's a nice comforting feeling when you don't have to wait and see if the lineup's coming out and you're in it or not.
Yeah.
Like, I think Nebraska fans feel the same way. It's like, I want to get a real accurate representation of where the program stands. And that's why the conversation has gotten so convoluted over the years. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Where does Nebraska did Saturday give us an accurate representation of where Nebraska stands in comparison to Michigan? The coaching staff, as evidenced by their conversation this week, is going to tell you, no, that was not an accurate representation of where Nebraska's at the moment. Because they didn't play well enough to be able to say that. Obviously, a lot of it has to do with how good Michigan is. Is Nebraska good enough to beat Michigan? No. Are they good enough to be in a game for more than 2 minutes? You bet. You bet they are. They are. Especially against a team like that wants to move, slowly moving barge their way down the field. Like, that's how they want to accomplish their business.
Can I go back to something from the first quote?
Yeah.
That struck me. I remember hearing it yesterday, and it hit me even harder today. The defense needs to understand that we're a defensive football team.
Yeah.
It's on you. Like, for better or worse, it's on you you have to deliver or this thing's going to topple over.
Well, I think it's a big deal. I think it's a big deal to say it out loud. Like I mean, so the question was asked, like, do you have an identity? It's like, yeah, we have an identity. Yeah. This is our identity. Here's what we want to do. We want to run the football. We want to play good defense. And like Rule said yesterday, or do kind of body blows on the offensive side of the ball, not necessarily throw haymakers and win the fight on offense, but win the fight on defense. Mm-hmm. Is Nebraska's defense good enough to be able to win the game on defense all year long? Oh, the margins are thin. The margins are thin. One might say no, because they haven't got enough turnovers yet. I would listen to that. Right? So there's just a lot, this is the start, right? It's the 5th game. That was the 5th game on Saturday. And I do feel like if there's an evaluation, 5 games to be made into the season, it is that Nebraska has a better understanding of who they are and who they're going to try to be right now than they did 3 games ago and 2 games ago and 5 games ago before the season started. I think they have a better idea of that now. And that can only help them going forward. So with that being said, there's a lot that goes into this game on Friday. There's a lot that goes into this game on Friday, and we'll talk about the next 4. How many of those you think Nebraska is going to win? Give us your thoughts on that. Actually, we'll discuss it a little bit later in the show. There's a few other things from Matt Rule as well. Quarterback situation, we'll bring that back up again. I think it probably warrants a little bit more conversation this week than it did last with the pending health of Jeff Sims. Kyle from Twitter.
Hi, Kyle.
Says, we know exactly where this team stands. Nebraska fans just refuse to accept what they see on the field week after week. They are not talented. They are not disciplined and not consistent enough to win more football games than they lose. It's been the same for 5+ years. Okay, so, but Kyle, here's the deal. Like, they are not talented, and I wouldn't necessarily just say, like, point blank, they are not talented. They are not talented compared to Michigan. They are not talented compared to some of the best teams in the country. They don't stand up in that fight. So that much is, like, generally true. I can go along with you there. And that's something that can't be fixed on the fly. Like, your talent is what your talent says you are. If you're not disciplined and you're not consistent, that's something that you can actually work on. That's something that you can change over time, right? That's something that you could do. So refusing to accept that is fine, in my opinion. I think it's a fair complaint to look at Nebraska and say, man, it's BS that they don't play well. They wouldn't have beat Michigan on Saturday no matter what, but I don't think it's a lot to ask for them to register on the radar of Michigan a little bit. I really don't. Like I said, especially for a program like that and the way that they want to play football.
That's the quickest Michigan has finished someone off.
Absolutely.
So to speak, this season.
Absolutely. And so if you're just like, oh, well, Nebraska's not consistent. I would say that they're not consistent until further notice. And the most difficult piece about it is that you don't know what you're going to get. They might play well. And then we're like, man, I remember those moments when they play well. That's in there somewhere. And you don't have to play well all the time. But like I said, all you can ask out of a head coach is that they get the most out of the group that they could possibly get. And maybe the best out of this group is 4 wins. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's 3. Maybe they've won their last game of the season already.
Whoa.
I don't think that would be the best out of it, personally. And if that's the way it lands, then that's the way it lands. But there's things that Nebraska can control right now that can be better, right? And so that's why they've thrown all their chips in on Friday. So I think they're under the expectation that it will be better. We'll see. Allan Bell joins the show. Talk some NFL next on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
If you haven't updated your windows, you could be throwing money out the window. Don't let the cool air out. Upgrade today with J-Tech Construction. For a limited time, get 60 months with 0% interest. Plus, as an added bonus, every window gets a special rated UV upgrade for free. Save money, keep the cool air in, and be happier when you upgrade your windows with the official exterior experts of Nebraska Athletics. For more info, go to yourexteriorexperts.com. Subject to credit approval.
If you love whiskey or want to learn more, then get to Omaha Whiskey Fest Saturday, October 7th from 2 to 5 at the Hilton downtown Omaha. Sample from more than 400 whiskeys. It's the largest whiskey event in the region. Get tickets at omahawhiskeyfest.com.
Vallis Pumpkin Patch and Apple Orchard has something fun for all ages. Come take a ride on the antique cars where the kids are the drivers. Visit our foam ball play area called the Egg Scramble. Stop by the cider mill area where you can have a drink of refreshing apple cider and taste some deliciously good barbecue at Ethan's Applewood Smokehouse. Vallis has more than 50 other attractions included with admission, along with fireworks every Friday night at 9. Vallis, the place to visit this fall.
If you love food, love fun, love fall, you'll love Vallis Pumpkin Patch best of all.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
Sponsored by Armstrong Pharmaceuticals.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You know, if we know anything, it's that local matters. Local shops, local restaurants, even locally brewed beers. October is Drink Local Month. So the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild is challenging beer, seltzer, and cider drinkers like you to put your palate through its paces and drink local brews. Because seriously, Nebraska is really on the cutting edge when it comes to brewers who think outside the box. And besides, you really want to be drinking what they drink over in Iowa? Didn't think so. Click Nebraska.beer to find brews near you.
There's nothing like football season here in Nebraska. Hi, this is Sunny.
And I'm Darwin with DJ's Dugout.
During football season, a portion of our sales at DJ's will be donated to the new Nebraska Vietnam Veterans Memorial Project being built in Papillion.
As a Vietnam veteran, I'm proud for DJ's to support the new Nebraska Vietnam Veterans Memorial.
To learn more about this meaningful project, visit nvvmf.org. DJ's Dugout is locally and Vietnam veteran owned.
It hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm like, I never smoked a cigarette. How in the hell did I get lung cancer?
I don't smoke. I've never smoked. So I started Googling. One word just kept coming up, like it was in bold and red, and it was radon.
Radon is the #2 cause of lung cancer.
Well, you don't know if it's in your home. You got to test. You can't see it. You can't taste it. You can't smell it.
What's your level? Radon Defense Midwest can help. Visit radonradio.com for a special offer. That's radonradio.com.
From Twitter, JJ writes in. He tweets at 1620 The Zone.
Hi, JJ.
Which is a great Twitter account.
A great account.
Boys, I've been a Husker fan since my first game in 1982. I've been a skeptic over the last few decades, but I have hit the win total 4 out of the last 5 years. So he's got street cred. He brings it to the table here.
Wow.
And he did say 6 wins this year.
Hey.
He said, although I did say 6 wins this year, I have a strange feeling we may win 6 or all of the last 7 games.
What?
That would make Nebraska a 8 or 9 win football team. Once again, this is not just a normal man.
A positive boy.
JJ has street cred because he picks the winners every time.
What happened the year he didn't?
A great question. I don't know. I don't have that information. Yeah. Send me a spreadsheet of all your picks, JJ. Josh.
Oh, you're gonna say something dumb, aren't you?
Maybe.
I know that wind up.
What is off the table for a win total over the next 7 games? What is off the table? 7 wins. Nebraska will not win each of their last 7 games.
Yeah,
it's statistically too much. There's not one in there that you're like, man, I just don't really think they can win that. Like, there's not one individual game, but statistically, I don't see it with Nebraska's margin for error being as small as it is. I can tell you this. I mean, just from a we like to look at this maybe from a betting standpoint or a mathematical standpoint at some point. Do you think Nebraska will be more than a touchdown underdog in any of their final 7 games?
They'll be home favorites at home against Northwestern and Purdue, right? Purdue might be a pick 'em or something like that.
Yeah, it'd be pretty close there.
At Michigan State, certainly not a touchdown dog unless.
No, I'd probably looking at 3-ish,
unless Nebraska's on a 4-game losing streak.
3 to 5, right? Obviously, I'm talking about with the way that the team is currently constructed. Like if Sims and Harburg are both out, like that changes the game a little bit.
Maryland, you're probably a 2-touchdown dog.
2 touchdowns?
Yeah.
We'll
10,
see.
12, 14.
Maryland will have played Ohio State and Penn State. That game might look different by November 11th. Wisconsin more than a touchdown favorite against Nebraska? Maybe at home
at Camp Randall.
And then Iowa's, that's going to be close.
You'd be a fool to make anyone more than a touchdown favorite in that.
You would be a fool. So that's where that comes from. So is there anything off the table?
I mean, yeah, 7's off the table.
I agree.
I guess it is possible that they could win the next 4.
Could they lose all of their next 7?
Today I cannot rule it out.
Okay.
I don't think it is very likely at all.
But you're ruling winning all of the last 7.
Yes.
Okay. And I think that's okay. I think that's fair. But really what we're talking about is the range being somewhere in the middle there. So that's where we stand right now. That's where we stand.
Feels like a 4-3 or a 3-4, or hopefully better than that.
Well,
but
4-3 would get you to where you want to go.
Yeah,
4-3 would get you to where you want to go. So the sky is not completely falling yet. Obviously, Nebraska has issues.
Like I made the graphic at the bottom saying now the season can start, but now the season can start.
This is real.
Like this is where you're going to find out what kind of year you have.
This is real. A Negative Mike is here.
Oh, Negative Mike.
He's telling everybody a variety of different things. He's saying Nebraska will not go to a bowl game for another 5 years. That Nebraska will finish the season at 2-10 this year, and that they will be 3-9 next year. I don't want this to turn into another Kool-Aid Steve situation, but Negative Mike, I disagree. I think Nebraska will at least find one more win this year. Put it on the list.
I mean, they do play Northwestern at home.
They do play Northwestern at home.
Not in Ireland.
That's right. No threat of onside kicks.
Just keep
onside
them
kicks
away.
are just an Ireland thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Keep the players away from like Zipline Brewery the night before the game or something like that, allegedly.
Yeah. Something like that. What is this going to be, another Michael's video?
Negative Mike says he'll bet you amigos, and I hate amigos, he says.
Wait.
Why does that matter?
Why does that matter? So if I win, then you have to buy me amigos and you don't have to eat amigos, which you hate? Okay. Awesome. If I lose, I'll buy you amigos and you hate amigos? Sounds like a win-win for me. Sounds fantastic. All right. So I don't think we're going to have Allan this week, but we'll have NFL reaction, overreaction here in the noon hour, and we'll talk to Bob Asmussen and get the update on the Illini coming up at 1:00. Quick update here from, I know we don't want to talk about the NBA too much yesterday, but the NBA had their various media days. Obviously, Jimmy Butler got all the headlines because he was emo. He's in his emotional stage.
You don't have to like feed into the bit media. He's just going to keep doing it if you keep letting him do it.
So you're against it, just for the record? I kind of think it's funny. Last year he had dreads.
It's funny, but he's too committed to the bit.
But and
it annoys me.
The point is
he's so committed.
The point is when they put the headshots up, he'll have emo hair,
which the NBA stopped doing about halfway through the season last year. They're like, okay, we have found another picture of Jimmy Butler. Imagine that. We found one other picture where he didn't look like a clown.
But it's nice to have the media guide as your guide. You can just go right there, grab the picture. But I would like to focus on another media day yesterday. Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets media day. Nikola Jokic has gotten off a plane from Serbia within the last 48 hours, would be my guess. Here are the various quotes that he had yesterday. Once again, this is the reigning NBA champions. This guy's already won an MVP. He was asked about Deion Sanders.
Of course, Colorado connection.
He does not know who Deion Sanders is. He is not aware of who Deion Sanders is, which I thought was great. I was like, all right, I'm in on these press conference highlights now. Nikola Jokic was asked if he had picked up a basketball this entire summer. And he said, and I quote, maybe a few times, which means he absolutely did not ever pick up a basketball this summer.
Not even once.
Jamal
Can't dribble a basketball on a horse.
Jamal Murray was sitting right next to him, and he was like, no, you didn't. He knows. That's the best part about it. Nobody seems to care. Like in a normal world, teammates would be mad that the guy wasn't getting better during the offseason. In his case, it doesn't matter. He was also asked if this was the most fun summer he's ever had. And he said, absolutely not. I think it's the opposite because we played 2.5 extra months. I'd like to remind Nikola that during those 2.5 extra months, he was winning an NBA championship. But he doesn't seem to care about that. It was 2.5 months without his horse. This is the best player in basketball.
Now, you can have horses in Colorado, right? Like
you can. Oh, there's horses in Colorado.
I understand you don't want to like ride them during the season, probably against his contract or something like that.
If this was a hot take sports show, we would be asking the question of like, is this good? Is this good for the game of basketball that Nikola Jokic aggressively doesn't care about basketball and he's the best player?
Every show in Denver's doing that segment today,
absolutely.
I imagine, and it's probably not good for them.
No, I think you say like I think the response is like whatever, he can do whatever he wants. He's awesome. He can do whatever he wants.
But as a Nuggets, and
do you want to feel that comfort of your players working hard in the offseason? It's nice when the baseball players show up to spring training and they have a smile on their face and they're like, I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to be back with my guys. And I worked so hard this offseason. Nikola Jokic said the exact opposite of that yesterday. I am not happy to be there. I'm not happy to see anybody. And I wish I was back home riding my horse. And I haven't worked hard. That's what he said yesterday.
He did. He said those things.
And he's the best player on planet Earth. Well, he's one of them.
You're the Nuggets. You're not a legacy franchise. Are you happy with one title, or are you like, hey, we need to win 3 or 4 because the West ain't good?
But here's the thing: like, does it affect him? Do you think it makes him? Do you think it makes him worse at basketball? Like he routinely has these slow sort of starts to his season as he ramps up, which the Nuggets can live with because every other team in the league can live with it when their players are only playing 40% of their games. So I think in the Nuggets' mind, this is a great trade-off for him being load managed the entire year. If you're great, you could sit around your entire summer on the back of your horse, whatever, just don't get hurt and come back one day before training camp starts. And then we'll start preseason like a week later. That's fine. We're just not going to load manage you in February. Deal. I take the deal. I sign on the dotted line for that, Josh.
I mean, we talked about in the playoffs last year, Nikola Jokic is very much a person who doesn't love basketball like other players in the NBA. He's just very good at basketball, and it is his job. It is his career.
When Nikola Jokic walks away from basketball, we'll never see him again.
Yep.
He'll just be gone. And that stinks because we want to love him. You know, we want to wrap our arms around him, but he doesn't care about you.
And as he gets inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame, some scribe will take a pilgrimage to Serbia in hopes of finding Nikola Jokic and will not find him.
Who's the basketball version of Peter King?
Yeah.
That's who's doing that story. Whoever that is. Bob Ryan. Probably not. Don't think he'd like Serbia very much.
There were a lot of things you could have made the reason for him not going. I'm glad you picked that one.
Odd News is next on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on The Crossover.
Bacon is the most flavorful food in the whole world. Bacon to a baby, and then give the baby a piece of sausage. The look on the child's face when they eat the bacon, mind blowing.
Can you trust a child for your food takes, and that's your problem?
Yes.
That's the problem.
Yes, there you go.
Hey, look at this baby. That baby knows.
Mornings with Sharp and Hanley. The Connor Happer Show on Sportsmanlike Conduct. 6A to 6P, 1620. The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast presented by Bellevue Berry and Pumpkin Ranch from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Your Tuesday morning forecast will include partly cloudy to mostly cloudy conditions, remaining mild throughout the morning and early afternoon. Spotty showers possible as we progress throughout the late afternoon and early evening. Afternoon highs topping in the upper 70s and lower 80s. More chances of strong to severe storms west of the metro for later on this evening into the overnight. I'm meteorologist Anthony Copeland for KETV News Watch 7.
The Zone Hotline is powered by 42 Degrees. The Source. By your mom's house.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is and has always been locally owned and operated. Now, with 160 employee owners, chances are one of us lives in your neighborhood. We take pride in taking care of you, our customers, and keeping you comfortable all year round. And as always, our technicians don't have sales quotas. When other companies send salespeople, Standard sends qualified technicians. It's just part of.
Carrier, turn to the experts.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis. The Top Tracer building is always available for you, rain or shine, or in the case of the upcoming months, snow as well. But you are covered, you are comfortable, whether it's hot outside, you're cool inside. If it's cold outside, you are warm and comfortable inside. Not to mention a bevy of television so you can watch all the sports action, play virtual courses from around the world, dial in that distance, and a whole lot more. It's Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis.
Email us on the Equitable Bank inbox with whatever is on your mind. Zone Inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. You can get me, Gary, at 1620thezone.com. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone Inbox.
No matter how dark it gets, there's always a sunrise, a warm bed, a warm meal, and hope. Sienna Francis House serves hope to those experiencing homelessness and addiction. Every day, we provide more than 1,000 meals and serve nearly 500 guests in our emergency shelter, Miracles Recovery Program, and supportive housing apartments, and help our guests navigate a path to permanent housing. Learn more at siennafrancis.org.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. hims.com/radio.
Snap in action this NFL season with FanDuel. It is America's #1 sports book. And right now, new customers, you can get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place just a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets. Nick, win or lose.
Yeah, win or lose. And if you've been thinking of joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action because the app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting option, anything from spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. A great NFL slate. maybe not necessarily starting with the Thursday night game, but you've got some good games to take a look at. Visit FanDuel.com, get on the action, use the promo code ZONE, and you can kick off the NFL season. Again, FanDuel.com/zone. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. 21 plus and present in Iowa. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.sportsbook.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Vala's Pumpkin Patch and Apple Orchard has something fun for all ages. Come take a ride on their antique cars called Stefan's Country Drive, where the kids are the drivers. This year they have 2 new rides called Freya's Egg Spinners and Cousin Lauren's Racing Pigs. Visit the cider mill area where you can have a drink of their refreshing apple cider and taste some of our delicious barbecue at Ethan's Applewood Smokehouse. Vala's has over 50 other attractions included with admission. Vala's is the place to visit this fall.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
Don't forget, NFL Reaction Overreaction is coming up in the noon hour. Today, we will have some commentary on our favorite subject, NFL quarterbacks. Are they good or are they bad?
Yes.
It's coming up soon. Josh will also have his bottom 5, which is going to be hotly contested all year long.
A lot of teams vying to get in.
Who wants to suck the most? But first, the odd news, Josh.
Connor, it's a tradition. Every year we do this.
Is it the Toy Hall of Fame?
No.
Okay.
That's biannual.
Okay.
This is just once a year. And every year, America falls for it like a bunch of suckers.
Oh, snow in the Panhandle?
No.
Oh.
Good guess, though. That also happens once a year.
Yeah, it's right around now, too. I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet.
Ladies and gentlemen, the McRib is back.
What? So the last time they took it away, they made a bigger deal about how it wasn't coming back.
It was the farewell tour last year.
Right. Which, and everybody saw that and they're like, oh my God, they're not bringing the McRib back. And we both said, no, it's coming back. They're just going to tell you it's not coming back so they can be more amazed when it does come back. And here we are. It's back.
Just 1 year after they assured customers it was leaving forever, the sandwich is slated to return in November.
What a genius marketing idea. Seriously, because like, has anybody ever asked the question, like, is the McRib good?
I eat the McRib every year and it's not great, but I do it every year.
I don't, because I'm not a sucker like you to corporate marketing schemes.
It's because they take it away that I get it.
Absolutely.
If it was on the menu every single day, I would forget it exists.
Exactly. So it does more sales during this time of what it would is if it was on there for the entire calendar year. It's genius.
It is not the first time McDonald's has bamboozled its customer base by taking the McRib on a farewell tour.
It won't be the last.
No, correct. In 2005, the sandwich received a celebratory last hurrah, and then it was brought back in 2006. Yeah, the McRib back.
I mean, I won't get it, but I'll wait for the internet to tell me that they love it, and I still won't get it.
I imagine there's a lot of TikToks with, all right, everybody, I'm in the McDonald's drive-thru, and we're going to get the McRib.
Just like the Grimace Shake.
Yes.
Remember when everybody was doing the Grimace Shake?
Yeah.
I got a Grimace Shake.
I got one.
It was actually kind of good.
Yeah.
I like the Grimace Shake.
A little different.
Maybe they'll bring the Grimace. They'll just alternate between the Grimace Shake and the McRib over the year.
Our next story, we go to, it's an airport. I can't really tell where. Maybe it's in the story. An unnamed woman left passengers furious with her dress code when she boarded a plane. One irate holiday maker. I'm going to guess that means European vacation, like holiday. We're going on holiday.
Okay.
Recording a video, which heard some very clear complaints about the state of dress this woman had. She appeared naked from the waist down during her wait in line. Spirit Airlines, no surprise there, Flight goers were left stunned by the woman who appeared in the line with them. A now viral clip has shown the seemingly oblivious passenger bearing all below her waist with an extra small dress. The orange dress in question proved rather revealing, as footage shows the unnamed woman standing in line with her backside on full display.
Yeah, they ought to do like I think they should enact like elementary school or like they should enact high school dress code for the plane. Don't you think that would be a good idea?
I like
Like
that.
shorts got to go past a certain length. You know, you're encouraged to not necessarily dress up at school, but like, come on, sweatpants. You know, like I don't need people getting too comfortable on the airplane. I don't think that's the right place to do it.
Right.
I get it. You're going to be there for a while. You're just going to be sitting, but come on, have some. Whatever happened to the decorum in this country?
Now, I don't have a lot of answers to the questions that you're probably thinking of. Hey, did the airline do anything? I don't have an end to this story.
She was just naked on a plane.
Yeah, and I saw the photo in question.
Oh,
I don't think naked's the right word. Like, it wasn't her bare bottom hanging out, but it looked like she was wearing like bikini briefs underneath.
Bikini briefs.
Like,
I got you.
but they were all bright orange, so it stood out.
Did you see Dan Orlovsky's pants?
No.
Dan Orlovsky on I think it was the London game, right?
The Toy Story game?
Well, which would have been the Toy Story game, yeah, but he was on the actual broadcast of the London game.
Yeah, the Toy Story game.
The Toy Story game. But many people were commenting on his pants because his pants looked like the same color as skin. You didn't see this.
I did not. What's going on? Those are flesh colored.
They
pants,
are.
right.
They're exactly flesh colored pants. And many people are like, Dan Orlovsky, he's doing the thing. He's not wearing pants on the television broadcast. No, he's wearing pants. They're just very skin colored. Nice job by Dan. Get the people talking about you. By the way, we got a email here from Matt on the Equitable Bank inbox.
Hi, Matt.
McRib is filthy. Filthy good.
Filthy good.
People are into the McRib.
Max tweets us.
Hey, Max.
Hi, guys. The McRib on a farewell tour is no different than every hair metal band on their fifth farewell tour.
Josh made this exact comparison this morning.
Exactly.
It is. It's no different.
We let Kiss have a farewell tour every year. Why not the McRib?
See them for the last time. They're coming back.
Now,
have you ever been to a concert where they do like 2 encores?
Pretty rare, but yes, it has happened.
It's definitely happened.
Finally, Connor, would you agree?
One thing. One thing.
Please.
Why are encores guaranteed?
I've thought that when I was younger, I thought this. I was like, no, you have to earn an encore.
You should
by being
actually
a
have
good
to earn
audience.
the encore.
You want to hear the 2 biggest hits? You got to earn it.
You got to, and it's up to you as the audience. If you want them, you got to cheer them back out. And if not, if you're not having like a fantastic time, then you could just, hop out and leave. And they're going to come back out anyway, but they shouldn't. It has to. I feel like the encore shouldn't be a guarantee. Okay. Anyway, what's the third thing?
That's a dangerous take, but I like it.
I'm a dangerous man.
Would you agree with me that toilet paper is a relatively perfect product? Like, we've mastered it. There's no evolution in toilet paper that's necessary.
Oh, I can't say that for sure, Josh.
Okay.
Who knows what's next?
Okay. Well, for the first time in 100 years, Charmin is reinventing toilet paper.
Reinventing?
Charmin has been secretly testing a big innovation for their ultra soft rolls. Some lucky consumers have even gotten it in store through a secret test, but now for the first time, Charmin is ready to talk about reinventing the square. Charmin is replacing the traditional perforation line with a scalloped edge to provide a better, smoother tear, and launched Smooth Tear as part of the ultra soft category to offer a more enjoyable go.
Josh, could you explain to me what a scalloped edge is?
I believe it
in this.
I believe it is curved in some way, shape, or form.
The paper is curved.
What was it? Scalloped what?
Scalloped edge.
Edge.
I'd like to see a picture of what's. I mean, obviously it's secret, so we can't talk about it much. But.
A scalloped edge. It looks like a. You know how a child draws a cloud and it's just like 4 humps.
Okay.
That's a scalloped edge.
Theoretically, that would help, but I suppose.
Would it help? Do you need this? Is this anything anyone has asked for ever?
No, nobody has asked for this.
Okay. Many consumers often get frustrated when they're unable to get a clean tear, resulting in additional toilet paper usage and potential waste. This innovation aims to deliver an even and clean tear every single time, addressing multiple pain points that are experienced when using toilet paper.
If you haven't figured it out by now, then
you're doomed.
You got problems.
Or are a child.
Dion writes in.
Hi, Dion.
If it's too thick, it clogs the toilet. Toilet emoji.
And then you find a way to blame the wife.
No, you don't. You got to take responsibility for that, Dion. Come on.
You got to point the thumb.
Yeah, absolutely.
On that one. Yeah, Charmin is presenting the next evolution in toilet paper.
Well, congratulations. I hope it works out well for them.
Oh, Amazing Daniel has helped us understand music.
Yeah, I know that. I know this was a take. Yeah.
The first encore isn't an encore. It's just a break for the band. It's not for you. It's for them.
Yeah, but it's okay. Then why go through the pain and the hassle of feeling like we have to encore them back out then? If you're telling me they're coming out no matter what, then just say that. Then stop, take a break, and come back out and play one more song.
Why isn't
or take your break earlier?
Yeah, why isn't it at the halfway point?
Right.
If you're telling me that you just got 12 more minutes of work, I can handle it. I can power through for 12 minutes. Trust me, I have a child. Nailed it.
It's the encore,
Asian Joe chimes in.
Hello, Asian Joe.
For as much in ticket fees as we pay, we are entitled to an encore.
Yeah, but what if you decided after all that you're just like, I'm not really feeling it tonight? You paid a lot.
Crowd.
Yeah, you paid a lot for a ticket, but you just feel like you didn't get as much out of it as you wanted to, and you were going to cut bait. You really want to make the band feel your appreciation that much. You paid so much for a ticket to get in, and then they disappointed you, and you're still going to cheer them on and encore them back out? I don't think you need to do that. It's like tipping. If the waiter did a bad job, don't tip him.
Oh, tipping's implied now.
Whatever happened to tipping not being implied?
Mm-hmm. That's the society I yearn for.
I always tip at restaurants, right? There's other situations where, there's a gray area in there. But if you feel like you've been wronged and you've got bad service, then it is your obligation to, I believe, send that message to the restaurant and to the waiter. You didn't do a good enough job. No tip for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's on you.
But
Society's not going to get better if not for us.
Then they're going to post a photo of your receipt on Instagram, and everyone's going to dox
and then you can tell them how bad they were.
And then they can say,
tell them how bad they were. It's up to you. It's up to us as a society. Josh, thank you.
Thank you, Connor.
That is the odd news. We will come back. The noon hour is to return. You guys will have takes on tipping, I'm sure, as well. So we can get to that on the other side. NFL reaction, overreaction is coming up as well. Also, a couple stats that I have for you on the defensive side. I've added a defensive slide to our drive chart this year. Some stats that I pulled out of there when we return next on 1620 The Zone. But first, it is back. The 4-quarter pick'em on 1620 The Zone. Listen to the cue to call 3 times a day. There will be one during this show. Make your picks in any upcoming Division I college football or NFL games. And if you go 4 for 4, you win $1,620. A second chance to get qualified is online on our website right now, 1620thezone.com.
Big names, big games. We've got them all. 1620 The Zone.
Say goodbye to summer and hello to cash loans. Let's face it, your personal banker probably won't loan you thousands of dollars today, but Saul's Jewelry and Loan will. Simply bring in your boat, camper, RV, jet ski, ATV, motorcycle, even your beautiful convertible, along with a clear title. And Saul's will loan you up to $50,000. No credit check, no hassle, and more importantly, no worries. Saul's indoor storage facility is so clean and secure, you can store your precious Harley-Davidson for the winter and pick it up next spring. So if you need a quick cash loan, Saul's is here to help.
Saul's Jewelry and Loan. Sports fans, Let It Fly Sports Bar is your elevated sports bar experience. Indulge in our culinary touchdowns with a menu crafted to satisfy. Savory burgers, tender steaks, to our fire wings. Our world-renowned chef will leave your taste buds cheering for more. We've raised the sports bar dining experience with a new high-end design and incredible food. Whether you're a die-hard sports fan or just love the excitement, Let It Fly is your place. Host your next college game day watch party or private event right here. Elevate your game day experience at Let It Fly, located in downtown Omaha.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Rizumkizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Hey, did you know Vistaprint prints everything a small business needs? Like if a barbershop needs signage, we print outdoor signs, posters, and banners. Or if a ballet school needs merch,
1, 2,
we print tote bags, t-shirts, hoodies, hats. Or if a coffee shop needs a total refresh,
latte for Mike?
Vistaprint designs logos and prints it on menus, mugs, paper bags, anything. Because with Vistaprint, the printabilities are endless. Print it all with 25% off for new customers with code NEW25 at Vistaprint.com.
Don't miss this week's Zone Deal.
This week's deal is from Scary Acres, voted the #1 best haunt in Omaha by Best of Omaha since 2019 and #1 best haunt in Omaha by the Omaha Choice Awards. This deal includes 2 super combo passes to get you into all 3 attractions for just $30. Scary Acres, 172nd and Giles. Pay just $30 for 2 super combo passes this Friday at 9 a.m.
Zone deals go fast. 9 a.m. Friday, 1620thezone.com.
Yep, I'm looking at the pages right now.
Thomas's translation company just lost its only 2 Spanish speakers. Without the right replacements, he'll be in problemas.
Yeah, we'll have those ready. Tonight's going to be a late one.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. With Indeed Instant Match, we immediately show you quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres? ¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aw, he just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Nos vamos a divertir mucho.
And that means we're going to have a lot of fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Let it fly. Your elevated sports bar experience. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
All right, welcome back. Noon hour, the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. I'm not sure what I was going to call the show, but I was going to say Happer.
The Happer Show.
We're just going to see where it went after that.
Happer Show.
Star Wars Fiend writes in, that explains why Connor eats so much Amigos. He doesn't have to tip.
It's an extra charge.
I just don't like when they guilt you into tipping. That's for sure. Like, oh, I'm coming to get takeout. The food's right there for me. You're just ringing me up, and I have the tip prompt. I don't know about that. Just not sure about that, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 50-50 gray area situation. By the way, I'm laughing at so little story on Jack Mitchell here.
Love Jack Mitchell.
Love Jack. What a character. So I bump into Jack because he, for some reason, had sideline passes to the game on Saturday. I bump into him on the sideline. What are you doing here? He's like, I don't know. I got sideline passes somehow. I'm like, all right, cool.
I don't know.
Yeah. And he was like, hey, if you don't mind, could you grab me a program? Because my son, he's in the athletic communications department. He wrote a story that was featured in this week's game program.
Oh, great.
And
No,
I was like,
baby.
yeah, I don't, that sounds fine. I think I can do that. I usually have a billion of them up there and nobody takes them. So I can grab one for you. Well, in true Jack Mitchell nature, it just happened to be the game where like they didn't have one sitting on every media seat up there. And then I went up to the window where they usually have all the other stuff. I was like, do you have programs? They're like, no. And I'm like,
oh,
perfect. Amazing. So then I get to the seat and I ask everybody around me, Schaefer and Caleb, who he works with, and whoever else, John and Gary are sitting right there. And I'm like, hey, so if you guys see a program, Jack wants it. You just give it to me or give it to Caleb or something like that, and they'll take it to him. And they're all like, "Oh, Jack asked you if you could get a program for him too." Apparently, he had asked everybody around me if they could get him a program as well.
You got to bank on somebody forgetting.
And so he just tweeted out, "I still need a program."
Oh, no!
He didn't get a program from Seth. I expect a long thread.
Come on,
about
guys.
the shortage of programs for the Michigan game. It's just a classic Jack Mitchell story. He goes above and beyond just to get this thing that on a normal day there would be 1 million copies of, and he would have no problem getting it. Of course, the one day he's looking for it, they don't have any. Oh, man.
I'm beginning to think that man is bad luck.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
has bad luck.
Yeah,
Not that he is
has
luck,
bad
yes.
luck. He has some bad luck. Yes, and he'll let you know about it. That's for sure. So I updated Nebraska's drive chart this year. Let's go offense first, just so we can see where we're at. Nebraska 55 total drives this year. It has ended in points, so 13 touchdowns and 1 field goal this year. They've only made 1 field goal. So 14 drives out of 55 drives, Nebraska has gotten points on. That's not good, but I'll tell you the number. That is 24% of Nebraska's drives end in points. Once again, not good.
No.
Actually, I should say, 14. 25%, excuse me, 25%. So I docked him a percent. I apologize for that.
Wow.
25% of the time, Nebraska's drives end in points, compared to 40% of them ending in punts, compared to, which by the way, and I'm about to tell you because we're going to talk about the defense here in a second, ending in a punt is far from the worst result.
Yeah.
We need to get this into our heads, by the way, too. I know we're used to living in the world where Nebraska is this offensive sort of scoring machine and they're an offensive-oriented program. And we are also in the day and age, I'm going to make this a societal thing as well, Josh,
okay.
so stick with me.
I have an example afterwards.
So we are in a stage now where I guess we make fun of teams who punt a lot, right?
Iowa.
We make fun of Iowa, but their offense is bad. But before
Nebraska's is worse right now, FYI.
Before the last 4 or 5 years, Iowa had a pretty good offense. They just punted a lot, and they were really good at punting, and they were really good at defense. Punting is like the 3rd best result you could have on a drive. Touchdown, field goal, punt. All the other results are horrible.
Yeah.
They're much worse than that. And Nebraska's drives have ended in a turnover over 18% of the time this year. 5 fumbles and 5 interceptions. 10 drives out of 55 have been turnovers.
On Saturday at the Iowa Western game,
one
of the worst days I've ever seen their offense have. They only gained 90 yards. They won 28-13, FYI. But just can't get it going on offense. Can't even get a first down going. They punt the ball.
Just punt.
It coffin corner ends up at like the 3. They end up getting a safety, points on the board. They get that free kick. They run it back to they might have housed it. No, I don't think they housed it, but they scored a touchdown off of the possession after the free kick. So they turned a punt into 9 points.
Exactly. A punt is far from the worst. Like, we need to maybe get to the point where Nebraska, I don't know if we have to outright cheer for a punt, but we look at a punt and say, that was an okay result.
You can do something with
that. Was at the very least a neutral result. And especially if Nebraska's got Steve Buscemi out there and he's banging 50-yarders, right? Keep doing that. That is great. That is a great result for Nebraska's drive. If they can flip field and the other team gets it back on inside their own 20 and Nebraska puts their defense out there. What did Matt Rule say yesterday? This team needs to learn, this defense needs to learn that we are a defensive-oriented team. All right? How do you get to that point? You punt. And you stop putting them in poop positions, crappy positions. And Nebraska's done that a whole lot this year. 18% of their drives have ended in a turnover. So I did some math as we flip over to the defensive side. So Nebraska, stick with me here because the wording may be a little bit confusing. Nebraska opponents have obtained the football 55 times, right? They have 55 drives against Nebraska this year. They have obtained the football via a kickoff 18 times, which that means Nebraska has either scored points or at the beginning of a game or beginning of a half. They have obtained, Nebraska opponents' offenses have obtained the football via a turnover 9 times. I'm about to tell you why that's significant in a second, but let's continue. They've obtained it via punt 22 times. They've attained it via a missed field goal twice, and they've obtained it via a turnover on downs 4 times so far this year. Turnover on downs is sort of like a throwaway because you don't know where that's going to be at on the field. But a lot of this is about field position. And for the record, Nebraska's offense, on average, starts at the 26.8-yard line, almost the 27-yard line. Nebraska's defensive drives, and once again, big sample size, 55 drives, Nebraska's opponent's offense drives on average start at the 31.7-yard line. That's a whole 5 more yards, right? And there's something in there that you'll figure out why. And it's obviously, it's the turnovers. Just for the bulk stuff, 55 total drives against Nebraska. Nebraska has produced 13 3-and-outs on defense so far this year. They have allowed 14 touchdowns. Once again, I'll tell you why in a second. Also, teams have made 7 field goals on Nebraska this year, and they've missed just 1. And once again, Nebraska's only turned teams over 4 times this year. Other teams' offenses have only obtained the ball against Nebraska coming after a turnover 4 times. So once again, there's another defensive component in here. Instead of looking at it like, oh, well, the defense needs to get the offense, they need to help the offense out. Yes, they really, really can, because if they get turnovers, they're likely getting better field position off of this. And they've only done that 4 times. That's where the defense needs to grow. Everybody, we've said this a lot at this point, but there's real tangible ways in which you could see this happening. So once again, Nebraska opponents have obtained the football 22 times via Nebraska punting this year. They only scored points on 6 of those drives, and 4 of them were field goals. So Nebraska has only allowed 2 touchdowns on drives after they punt this year. Let's compare that to the turnover number, shall we, Josh?
Oh, okay.
Once again, Nebraska opponents have obtained the football 9 times off of Nebraska turnovers this year.
9 times.
9 times.
Connor gets that movie reference.
They scored points 7 out of those 9 times, and 4 of them are touchdowns. That's already double, and the sample size, double the touchdowns, and the sample size is half. I know this is sort of obvious to you guys, but it just understates, illustrates even more. Man, Nebraska cannot turn the ball over. It just puts their defense in a horrible, horrible position. So once again, the percentage of opponent drives that end in points following a Nebraska turnover is 78%. 78% of the times they get points on that. That's a bad number. It's not a bad number for the defense.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bad number for the offense because it tells you they just can't, they can't turn it over. And it tells you that I would assume that number, and maybe Stu Manchi's listening and he could help us out with this. I would assume that number is actually pretty close to average. Wouldn't you think? 78% of the time teams score off of turnovers.
Yeah.
That feels about right to me. Maybe it's a little high.
A little high, maybe.
But likely, if you're turning the football over, you're getting really good field position. The fact of the matter is Nebraska's turned it over, and they've actually turned it over in horrible spots. I mean, think about actually, one of the they held for a field goal when Harbor fumbled inside the 5, right, against Northern Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's one of them where they held to I mean, that's an incredible job of the defense. That could have very easily been a touchdown. And so, and Nebraska's defense has allowed just 4 touchdowns following a drive in which Nebraska kicked it off. So following a drive in which Nebraska has scored, or whether they're opening up a half or opening up a game. 4 out of 18. 22% of the time, opponent's drive ends in points following a kickoff. But that number shoots all the way up to 78% when Nebraska turns the football over. I mean, so this will show you a couple things. It illustrates, I think, a couple of things in my mind. Number one, I think Nebraska's defense, although they dropped dramatically this week in stop rate because Michigan just stomped all over them. They scored on what? Michigan scored on, I got the drive chart right in front of me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of their 9 drives. 7 out of their 9 drives. So Nebraska fell dramatically in stop rate this week. They're in the 50% range now, which is like 74th in the country. 54-ish, I think, percent of stops. So they obviously fell dramatically in that category. But I think what I learned from this is that Nebraska's defense, if put in positions to be successful, is actually good.
That's the vibe I'm getting.
Even though, the Michigan game would probably tell a little bit of a different story. Michigan obtained the football via, they got their touchdowns on the following drives. They obtained it via a kickoff to start the game, an interception. So that's one of them. A turnover on downs, a punt, a Nebraska missed field goal, and another turnover on downs. So only one of those touchdown drives was coming following a Nebraska punt. Mm-hmm. You think about it that way. Nebraska got stomped all over by Michigan and their talent on Saturday, but when they put their defense in a position to be successful, they were generally successful. Now, once again, Nebraska only punted once, Nebraska punted twice. 3 times, in the game. And one of those actually ended in one of the only times Michigan had to give up the ball the entire day, the punt. They went 3 and out.
Mm-hmm.
Started on the 35, ended on 35, 3 yards, 3 plays, 0 yards. Punt. That came off a Nebraska punt. So this matters, obviously. Bree Baby writes in on the Twitter.
Hi, Bree Baby.
Help me out here. I'm no football genius, but are you implying that it is better to punt than to turn them all over? Yeah. Yes, I am.
By us.
Yeah, yes, I am. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure we really have a great grasp of the importance. I think we're coming off of a time in an era where, once again, Nebraska had better offenses and more dynamic offenses, and they could score in a variety of different ways. And we're now going into an era where field position is one of the most prominent and important things that there is. It just is. And Nebraska, on average, is starting their drives 5 yards behind where their opponents are starting their drives because they're turning the football over too much. So, I mean, I know it makes sense to you all, but I don't think we emphasize it enough. I still don't think we talk about it enough. If Nebraska's defense is put in a good position, they're pretty good. If they're put in a bad position, it gets tricky in quite a hurry. And I just wanted to put some stats to that. Jack John writes in.
Hi, Jack John.
Kirk to Brian, quote, just get us to the 35-yard line so we can punt and get some points on the board. Seriously. You wonder why Iowa punts so much. That's why. Because you don't lose when you punt. Teams like that have to think, and I think Nebraska is starting to think this way. You heard it in the way Matt Rule said it yesterday. Teams like that have to think, when we punt, we are getting our defense, which is our more favorable unit, a better chance, an opportunity to go win the football game. We are putting them on the field, and we're putting them in better position to do so. That's the way you have to think about football in the Matt Rule era. It's different now, and I think we have a difficult time adjusting to that sometimes. If you have any more questions on the number, I will make the spreadsheet public here. I'll tweet it out in just a little bit. So if you want to dive through my brain, then
it's a dangerous place.
It'll be on the internet here momentarily, but don't respond to any of my other tweets.
Those are private.
I'm shutting that one down. NFL reaction, overreaction. When we return, we'll talk some quarterbacks, make some proclamations on guys. Next on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call in the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
With over 45 years in business, Thrasher Foundation Repair makes stressful home repairs super easy with precise repair and genuine care. From basement waterproofing to foundation repair, concrete restoration, and crawl space repair, you can count on Thrasher to handle it with ease and expertise. Schedule a free estimate today at gothrasher.com.
Precise repair, genuine care, Thrasher.
If you love whiskey or want to learn more, then get to Omaha Whiskey Fest Saturday, October 7th from 2 to 5 at the Hilton downtown Omaha. Sample from more than 400 whiskeys. It's the largest whiskey event in the region. Get tickets at omahawhiskeyfest.com.
Does eating at home have you singing the blues? Stop by Cops at the Shadow Lake Town Center, 180th and Center, or 72nd and Jones to grab a delicious pizza, burgers, fresh salad, and some tasty charred wings. They even offer keto crusts and an extensive variety of shareable appetizers. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. Cops, now with 3 convenient locations to serve you. Shadow Lake Town Center, 180th and Center, and 72nd and Jones. Click copspizza.com to see the menu, pizza, and so much more.
Let's watch the game at DJ's. Nick Hanley here for my friends at DJ's Dugout. Football is in full swing. College football, pro football. Watch your favorite team at DJ's. Great food, great drinks, great service. Plus, DJ's casual, comfortable atmosphere and huge TV walls are an Omaha tradition. Let's watch the game at DJ's, Omaha's hometown iconic sports bar for 30 years. Locally and Vietnam veteran owned with 7 metro area locations. Dig in at the Dugout.
All right, so I just tweeted that out. If you want to take a click at Connor Happer, the 2023 drive chart. I think it is. Sometimes I've tweeted these things out before, and they are like not public. But I think we got it this time. Yep, looks like somebody else is in here looking at it already. Whoever that is,
wow.
Thank you. Thank you.
Rummaging around your stuff.
Oh, well, it's good. It's public.
Okay.
This is my brain. It's out there. It's available for all to see. And there's some good information in there as well. It'll be updated weekly, and the numbers will change. All right, Josh.
All right.
It is time for some NFL reaction, overreaction. This week, there is a theme. We love a theme.
We do. It's festive. It's more fun this way.
And I think it is time to rule on some, not not Matt Rule. It's time to rule on some. Whoa, it's raining heavily.
Yeah. Look at that.
How about that?
My child's at a pumpkin patch right now.
Oh, that's probably not good.
No.
Going to be nice and muddy when he comes home.
I brought his jacket, though, so.
Does he have galoshes?
I'm a good dad.
What about yellow rain boots?
No.
He's going to need some rain boots.
Yeah.
I think it's time to rule on some NFL quarterbacks. So we'll ask questions of a few of them. Are they the answer? Are they not the answer? This is actually just heavily individually themed this week.
Right.
And then there's a couple teams that are in there as well. Josh, what are our takes this week?
Take number 1. Mac Jones is not the answer for the New England Patriots.
Not an overreaction.
No,
that is an appropriate reaction. I've been actually saying this for a while. I just have never necessarily been a fan.
He's been inconsistent.
Yeah,
in his career, and
they are not necessarily the most talented group around him, right? And they're still sort of living in the Stone Age in terms of their creativity and stuff like that on offense too. But no, I think this will be a team, and Josh, we might hear about them in the next segment again. I think this will be a team that might want to get involved for that number 1 pick.
Caleb Williams.
They might have some interest there. Yeah, I don't think Mac Jones is the guy. So I think they're at the very least going to be in the market. Maybe it's for a drafted guy, maybe it's somebody else around the league. But I just don't think Mac Jones is it. I'm ready to rule on Mac Jones. I've actually been ready to rule on Mac Jones for a while. But the 38-3 drubbing at the hands of the Cowboys certainly didn't do him any favors on Sunday.
No, it looked difficult for them to do the most simple things on Sunday.
Would you agree with me, by the way? Like, are you out on Mac? Return of the Mac?
I am, yes. I wasn't sold on him. There were a couple flashes early, but and maybe it's the supporting cast, but this year it's just he hasn't shown anything.
You have to account for the supporting cast thing too. Obviously that exists, but
they are 12th in passing yards as a team. That feels not accurate.
That's fake,
but it is.
That's fake news.
Fool's gold.
No, I'm out on Mac. Go get a new guy. Time to change.
Take number 2. Kenny Pickett is not the answer for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Well, Josh.
The
Steelers were one of my teams before the year who I was like, God, I kind of buy this. And I think this division gets kind of sloppy, and it turns out has not been good as really anybody expected it to be. Obviously, this is mostly due to the Bengals being so rough early on. But
we'll get to them.
Yeah, we will. We will indeed. It might be mildly too early to rule for sure, but I'm out. I am out at the moment. So I believe this is also an appropriate reaction.
For me, too early to rule. Now, I don't think he's ever going to be like a Josh Allen, or I don't think he's ever going to be an elite quarterback, but maybe you get Matt Canada out of there and things change.
Well, he's definitely bad. We know that for sure. We have years of experience and statistics to back this up. The amazing Daniel, who is our resident Steelers fan.
Yeah.
As of right now, Pickett isn't the savior, but he's not the problem either. And I think that's fair.
They can't run the ball, which is weird for a Steelers team.
Yeah. At the same time, though, I think, if they do get to a point where the things around him look a little bit better, I still don't think he's the answer. Can he exist in that system? Yeah. Can he be the guy? Because as a quarterback in the NFL, you need to elevate.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's ever going to be that.
Can he be the guy until there's another guy available that you go get?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yes. Placeholder is just fine for him. Mm-hmm. He really smells like a career backup to me, for sure.
Take number 3. Desmond Ridder is not the answer for the Atlanta Falcons.
Once again, pretty early.
Yeah.
But do you see it with Desmond Ridder?
I've only watched the Toy Story game of his.
I don't. I don't.
They are last in passing in the league. 744 yards, 3 touchdowns for Dez.
Yeah. So there's a couple different ways you could look at it. Like maybe they don't trust him enough yet, and they're waiting to sort of unleash that at a certain point in time. Or maybe there's a reason that they don't trust him enough yet, and it's not just like a simple development of a quarterback, right? I don't think either of them are good things for the Atlanta Falcons.
I understand it is a bit of a mirage, but at this moment in time, this season, Desmond Ridder has a higher completion percentage than Joe Burrow, more touchdowns, and more interceptions.
Are you ready to throw Joey B under the bus?
No, he's horribly injured and needs to sit, but he won't do it because he's
Joe Burrow.
He's Joe Cool. Forgot his nickname there for a second. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm out on Ridder too. All right, so we just buried 3 quarterbacks.
Way too early to rule on Desmond Ridder, though, right?
What? Why?
It's been 4 games.
Yeah, but he stinks.
He's a rookie, right?
No. His second-year guy.
Second-year guy?
Yeah.
I don't watch much Falcons. I'm sorry.
I don't know many people that do, but he's second-year guy. He's in the same draft class as Pickett. So yeah, no, I'm ready. I'm almost ready to rule there as well.
Does he still have that tight end I like?
Kyle Pitts?
Yeah.
No, he doesn't really play anymore. He's hurt all the time.
Oh.
But they do have Bijan Robinson.
He looks like it was worth the pick. Oh my gosh.
I know.
Remember when we all freaked out
Oh,
when the
we're all
Falcons drafted Bijan Robinson?
Thank you for saying that, Josh. I don't have anything against a team who wants to draft a running back high if they feel like he's a game changer.
Yeah.
He is. He's a game changer. That guy, and you have this thing, like it just lines up for me. You have this thing at the beginning of their career where they're basically in their prime the second they walk into the NFL because they're, the tread is low on the tires or whatever, or good on the tires still. And you have a small window where you can run him and he can stay healthy and you don't have to pay him that much. Makes sense for everybody involved. I'm in on that. I was in on the Giants taking Saquon Barkley when they did.
Number 4, Sam Howell is the answer for the Washington Football Commanders.
I've said this on the show before.
You have.
I am a proud Sam Howell fan. I like Sam Howell. I think now, what's the answer? He's not a huge franchise elevator, right? You got to elevate in the NFL. But would I take him over the middling guys that certainly we've just talked about? Yes, I would. And would I take him over, kind of that middle tier of the NFL? Like he's squarely in that mix right now. I like Sam Howell. And it took a lot of guts to, Taylor Heineke, he's now in Atlanta. People are calling for him to play, and I think maybe he should. They could have gone with that, but they instead went with a younger guy, and Sam Howell has done a really nice job, I think, so far. So the other thing on Washington from this weekend, which, by the way, I was right about Washington. I just want to make that very clear.
Yes, I was thinking that during the game. I was like, wow, even if they don't win this game, which they didn't.
What?
Connor's right about Washington.
What the hell ever happened to Riverboat Run?
Oh,
Riverboat Run. You're supposed to go for 2.
It's Lazy River Run now.
Win the yes. Call him Lazy River Run. What happened? Why didn't they go for 2 to beat the Eagles? Instead, you're going to go to overtime and fall at the risk of either A, not getting the ball, which they did, or just losing straight up. No, you go for 2, Riverboat Run. What happened to you?
Did you hear his answer?
No.
When asked about that in the post game, he said, well, it was a 11-play drive to get to that point. Team was gassed.
One more play for 3 yards?
Instead, play more football game?
Right.
In overtime. Also, the defense might
against
be gassed
the Eagles,
as well. Yeah.
When they can just QB sneak their way down the entire field. Come on, Ron. I love Ron Rivera.
Yeah.
He's got to go for that.
Especially in Bieniemy's offense. Like, you figure he could draw a 2-point play up, right?
Yep.
Sam Howell, 11th in passing yards right now in the league. Also, he has been sacked more than any other quarterback in this league.
Guy's a gamer.
Get you a nice O-line pieces around him. Maybe you can. I mean, it's a tough division. I don't know what their ceiling is with Sam Howell, but
couple good running backs, couple good receivers.
Yeah. You can play with Sam Howell.
Might be something cooking there.
This is when I start losing count. 5.
That's fine.
Christian McCaffrey can win the MVP.
Josh, I want this to be true because I think Christian McCaffrey is maybe the best player in the NFL. I mean, I don't,
Certainly non-quarterback division, right?
but that's the problem.
Yeah.
He does not play quarterback. So if you look on the FanDuel Sportsbook at the moment,
Oh, that's where I was just going.
Christian McCaffrey is currently plus 2,500 to win the MVP, which is good enough for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th.
His own quarterback is 2 spots ahead of him.
His own quarterback, whose name is Brock Purdy, who I love, and
you have said yes.
Brock Purdy is a guy, and I agree with, but I mean, him being in front of Christian McCaffrey for MVP, like I want to live in the world where Christian McCaffrey can win the MVP. How is Trevor Lawrence still in front of Christian McCaffrey for odds? Like, what are we doing here? It's just quarterbacks. And I think we all need to realize that there are other players in the NFL that aren't quarterbacks.
He has the same odds as Dak Prescott.
Which
makes sense, but they're both too low.
He only has mildly better odds than Jared Goff
and Matt Stafford.
Like,
where's Puka Nacua?
Puka Nacua is probably not far behind.
I don't see him on this list.
Sad.
TJ Watt plus 15,000. Same as Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, I don't see Puka Nacua on here either, but I really want him to be.
Oh, hey, perfect segue for us. I didn't do that on purpose. Puka Nacua.
Christian McCaffrey, I want to live in a world where he can win MVP, but he can't, unfortunately.
Sad. Puka Nacua is a legit star.
I don't know what to do with this, Josh, because they created Cooper Kupp out of thin air. And also Cooper Kupp is maybe going to come back this week. He's going to, I think, give it a go in practice this week and try and come off that IR. So what happens to Puka Nacua when Cooper Kupp comes back? But like,
do you just have 2 weapons or do you forget about it?
Just because he's in a system, I don't want to knock him for being a star in the role that he's in. He is currently top 2 in basically every major stat there is in the NFL. He catches 10 footballs a game.
Only has 1 touchdown.
He's only got the 1 touchdown, which was this past week. But
the Rams are second in passing in the league.
Yeah, I mean, like, why not? I don't think this is forever, but he's awesome.
I don't read into this more than what it like. It's a unique name, so you can remember it, and that's part of being a star.
That is part of being a star.
Like, oh, what's that guy's name? Joe Smith.
What does that say about Josh Allen?
Which one?
He overcomes his name to be a star.
His name. Well, while we're right there on Josh Allen, do you think Haley Steinfeld regrets the way she's played a relationship with Josh Allen after seeing Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift? Just everybody think about that. We don't have to talk about it.
Josh, what are you saying? What are you saying?
I'm saying, do you think she's like, wow, maybe I should go to a Bills game, help my album sell?
If I ever catch even a whiff of somebody hating on Haley Steinfeld on this show, you're gone.
Wow.
That's where I draw the line. Not happening on this show. We love Haley Steinfeld on this show. In this house, we love Haley Steinfeld. And we love Josh Allen too, for that matter.
Sure.
We can talk about how he throws picks all the time.
Not lately. They've decided, hey, what's the best way to get him from turning the ball over? Why don't we start running the ball a little more? And they have, and they found success.
I would say that is definitely my favorite football player singer relationship in the NFL right now. Yeah, no doubt.
Ooh, top 5. Because you got
Russell Wilson,
you got Sierra. Can I get to 5?
You might be able.
I might be able to.
You might be able to.
I'm gonna have to tinker with that in the lab after the show. Next take. No win is a guarantee for the Cincinnati Bengals.
This is an appropriate reaction. They are a mess right now. They are a mess.
If you're going to keep trotting Joe Burrow out there.
So they have 2 easy games the next 2 weeks, right? I was looking at it. Yeah. Well, I mean, easier comparatively. They over the next 2 weeks play Arizona and Seattle.
You know that
and
the
then they have a
Tennessee
bye.
Titans made them look silly over the weekend.
Really,
right?
really bad. I'm just saying, just sort of comparatively. Do you consider just sitting Burrow for the next 3 weeks because they have a bye in week 7?
Oh, okay.
And then being back for the stretch where they play the following teams starting October 29th, Josh. San Francisco, Buffalo, Houston, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Jacksonville, Indianapolis, Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Kansas City, Cleveland.
Oh my gosh.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
I would definitely sit him for one game. Now, it is a...
But why not just do it 2 and then...
Sure.
Yeah,
then
just have him back. But then your margin for error is obviously really small.
But if you're Zach
But
Taylor...
you can't live the way you're living right now.
No. If you're Zach Taylor, though, that's a huge gamble for your career.
Yeah.
Because
they want to fire you the second things go wrong.
There's going to be a fall guy for the Bengals this year, and it's going to be you. It's not going to be Joe Burrow. It's not going to be someone on the medical staff. It's going to be you.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Are you willing to roll that dice?
But they can't live the way they're living right now.
True.
So I think maybe you got to think about it.
I would do it.
You got to do it.
The Dolphins have a Buffalo Bills problem.
The Dolphins have a Buffalo Bills problem, Josh. Yes, this is an appropriate reaction. Miami has lost 10 out of its last 11 games to the Bills, which I couldn't believe.
Wow.
It's like the Bills have been great over that entire period of time.
I knew in Buffalo they were very good against Miami.
The only win that Miami has had was last year's OG Tua brain scramble game last year in the
147-degree heat
of
Miami.
That wasn't that game, right? There was like a really mega heat game where everybody was tired, and I think it was in the 40s or something like that. And then there was the Tua brain scramble. Or was that the same game? Because this game that Miami won last year was like 21-19 or something like that.
Oh, okay.
But yes, Miami looks great against everybody else, and they can't figure it out against Buffalo. It's like a Nebraska-Wisconsin volleyball situation.
Yes.
They just can't. Like, they're a really good team, but there's something going on with the mental hurdle between these two. Or maybe it's just, really good coaching. Either way, they can't get over the hurdle right now. The Dolphins have a Buffalo Bills problem.
And the last take.
I do love Mike McD, though.
Yeah, that great quote.
He just needs friendship. He's talking to officials.
Last take. The New York Giants are done.
Yep. Good night. See you later.
It's over.
That one was easy.
Very easy. I mean, we all saw them yesterday, right? Coming up for the Giants, and spoiler alert, we'll get into this. At Dolphins, at Bills versus the Commanders. Oh, hey, they play the Jets in the regular season. That'll help.
Oh, that does not sound like a fun game to watch.
Sicko game of the week.
Just might be. I will say this about the Giants. As of right now, until Saquon Barkley comes back, you know who their best player is? Wan'Dale Robinson.
Heard his name a lot yesterday.
He is good.
Yeah.
He should basically be. Scott Frost would be sitting in his house like freaking out right now if he heard this. Wan'Dale Robinson should be like RB1. They should just give him the ball 15 to. I know he's still working his way back from ACL, but like they need to get the ball in his hands. He's the most electric dude that they have without Saquon Barkley. And that's not saying a lot because they don't have very many electric dudes. Darren Waller has been a huge bust. Huge bust.
Big bust.
And then Daniel Jones has his own problems. The O-line can't block. There's a mess going on pretty much everywhere you look. There's people puking all over each other in New York. Bleh, bleh, bleh. And they're the team without Taylor Swift going to their games.
Yeah. Gotta find a celeb to be a Giants fan.
Must be stinky to be a Giants fan right now. Tough look.
We'll talk to Robin Washut later this week.
We will tomorrow.
All right.
Josh, your bottom 5 teams in the NFL. I imagine this will be a nice little segue into it.
We've talked about a couple of them already.
Next on 1620 The Zone.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley.
Kudos to him. He has brought people into, whether they know what the hell they're watching or not, he has brought more people into the college football game this year than I can ever recall. Yeah. And he's probably gotten people that are diehard NFL fans that don't live in an area where college football is big. They're paying attention to one team in college football, or actually one individual in college football. Yeah. We've never seen it before. The impact of a team that is not that good doing ratings like they are. Fits for one guy.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley. Weekdays 6 to 10. On 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast presented by Bellevue Berry and Pumpkin Ranch from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Your Tuesday morning forecast will include partly cloudy to mostly cloudy conditions, remaining mild throughout the morning and early afternoon. Spotty showers possible as we progress throughout the late afternoon and early evening. Afternoon highs topping in the upper 70s and lower 80s. More chances of strong to severe storms west of the metro for later on this evening into the overnight. I'm meteorologist Anthony Copeland for KETV News Watch 7.
The Connor Happer Show returns in minutes on 1620 The Zone.
Certified Transmission built its reputation on the job done right.
It means hard work,
honesty, and integrity.
And together, we ensure our customers leave satisfied and worry-free.
Certified Transmission, the job done right at the right price.
If you haven't updated your windows, you could be throwing money out the window. Don't let the cool air out. Upgrade today with J-Tech Construction. For a limited time, get 60 months with 0% interest. Plus, as an added bonus, every window gets a special rated UV upgrade for free. Save money, keep the cool air in, and be happier when you upgrade your windows with the official exterior experts of Nebraska Athletics. For more info, go to yourexteriorexperts.com. Subject to credit approval.
The Zone Inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. Email me, Connor Happer, with the Connor Happer Show at Connor, CONNOR, at 1620thezone.com. Send me your love, your hate, and maybe a few hot takes. The Zone Inbox, presented by Equitable Bank.
When you give to United Way of the Midlands, your caring spirit helps our neighbors in need get back on their feet and builds a stronger tomorrow for the Omaha Council Bluffs Metro. Make your gift today at UnitedWayMidlands.org.
Terrors of the night stalk among the trees. In the distance, fear awaits. A shriek, laughter, then silence. It's the season of darkness at the Ranch of Terror and Haunted Hayride. Spend an hour with nothing to protect you but your own screams. Bring your group and witness unspeakable horrors that test every fiber of your nerves. Hayride and House combo $30 or $19 separately. The Ranch of Terror and Haunted Hayride. BellevueBerryFarm.com.
Get a full breakdown of what went right and what went wrong immediately after every Nebraska game with Big Red Overreaction, presented by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. And by Coors Light, keeping Nebraska chill. Also brought to you by J. Sennett Contracting, Tinman's Collision Center and Mechanical Repair, and Rotella's Italian Bakery. Immediately after the game, join the show and sound off with the good, the bad, and the ugly. Big Red Overreaction with the Keg and 1620 The Zone.
Vala's Pumpkin Patch and Apple Orchard has something fun for all ages. Come take a ride on their antique cars called Stefan's Country Drive, where the kids are the drivers. This year they have 2 new rides called Freya's Egg Spinners and Cousin Lauren's Racing Pigs. Visit the cider mill area where you can have a drink of their refreshing apple cider and taste some of our delicious barbecue at Ethan's Applewood Smokehouse. Vala's has over 50 other attractions included with admission. Vala's is the place to visit this fall.
Come on, Josh. Come on. All right. That is the song that plays when Josh unveils his bottom 5 NFL teams. The worst. We're starting to really take shape here now. These may be the teams that are in it for the long run.
There's 2 or 3 teams that I think are going to be permanent fixtures at this point. But
there's going to be a lot of teams that are interested in getting in on the Caleb Williams sweepstakes.
Mm-hmm. But is Caleb Williams going to be interested in getting in on that?
We'll see.
Makes a lot of money in college. I don't know if you've heard this.
He does make some money. And he probably doesn't want to play for a couple of these teams.
Yeah.
So there's that piece of it too.
God, come on. Take forever.
Number 5.
They're a 1-3 team. This is the 3rd time they have appeared on this list. It is the Denver Broncos.
Congratulations on their win, though.
Yeah.
The comeback win.
However, another way to look at it, they almost lost to the Bears as they were trailing 28-7 late in the 3rd quarter.
Yep. So this is more of a commentary on the Bears.
Got dragged down in it with them. But the Broncos have the worst DVOA ever through 4 games.
Like overall?
Yes.
Wow, really?
No team in the history of recorded DVOA, which isn't terribly long, but it is a metric that teams use. They have the worst DVOA ever. They have allowed 37.5 points per game. Oh, but Josh, they gave up 70 in one game. Well, they've given up 150 points this season. They are last in pass rush win rate. They're 28th in run stop win rate. You can do whatever you want.
So they just don't win.
Yes.
They have a bad defense. They have a mildly okay offense.
Russell Wilson, not the problem.
Not that'd be like
bit of an upset.
That's basically like if you just took Nebraska and they had a horrible defense. Right?
Right.
Their offense isn't good, but it's okay. Like they do some things okay.
Yeah.
Right? They're capable in some areas.
I think
Imagine Nebraska with a crap hole defense right now. Oh, that would be ugly.
It would.
It would not be good.
I think Sean Payton's going to go sleeveless the rest of the season. I've heard this about him.
And then he could do a Kevin James meme.
Number 4.
Number 4, that's right. They are worse than the Denver Broncos. It's the Cincinnati Bengals.
I don't have any problem with putting them right here, Josh. They can't live off of what they've done in the past. They are obviously the way it stands right now. Burrow is not healthy.
He is not healthy. Their O-line is atrocious. They're 31st in rushing. They're 29th in passing. 31st in points scored.
They don't even bother throwing the ball more than like 2 yards. I mean, they're a complete shell of themselves right now.
They don't have time to throw the ball any further than that. So you can't get Jamar Chase in space. You can't take the top off. Cincinnati has 1 rushing touchdown this season. That might not get the job done.
Yeah, like I said, can't live like this. So they got a real decision to make about Burrow and what happens, over the next couple of weeks.
We talked about that. They have to go 2-0 in the next 2 games, or you might be able to write them off.
3. Combination of 3 and 5.
Number 3.
This is this team's second appearance on this list.
Welcome back.
They are one of 2 winless teams in the league. They are the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, they'll be here for a while, I think.
Bryce
Young's hurt.
Yeah, they got injuries at quarterback, but they are bottom 10 in passing, rushing, points for, and points against. And their schedule plays out like this, Connor. At Detroit, at Miami, versus Houston, versus Indy, and then at Chicago on November 9th.
That could be something.
Yeah.
That could be something.
Yeah.
No, but this was sort of always a throwaway year for them. They got a couple guys that are hurt on the defense too. Like, I don't know. I can't be mad about what the Panthers are doing right now. No. They were just sort of going to be here.
Hope you love that pile of money you're sleeping on every night, Adam Thielen.
I do think they'll probably look back at it and say, man, that was kind of a missed opportunity. Like if we could have got ourselves to, 7-8 and threatened, that's a very, very winnable division.
Yeah.
But what good does it do you in the long run to compete in the playoffs and get bashed off by whoever you're playing in the first game or the second game, I suppose? Not much. So yeah, they're going to be here for a while.
Take a nice draft pick and improve your team in the offseason.
Here comes 2. Number 2.
Shout out Andy Dalton though for getting his reps in.
He always finds a way.
Yep.
To get in.
The guy in front of him
some starts.
Is getting hurt. He stays getting hurt.
They call him the Red Rifle. He should be the Red Reaper. If you got Andy Dalton staring at you on the sideline, you're going down at some point.
Nice. I like that.
Number 2 is the New York Football Giants. Maybe it's recency bias. Maybe.
We did see some bad things from them last night.
They have the largest point differential in the NFL this season.
Negative
76. They have not scored a touchdown in the first half all season.
Once again, there is a 1-3 team in here who got beat by 50 or 40.
Yeah.
So it's really saying something that they have the largest points differential.
Right. Only Sam Howell has been sacked more times than Danny Dimes. 22 for Danny Dimes, 24 for Sam Howell. The Giants have also scored the fewest points in the league this year. They've scored just 46 points.
With no real path to being.
No.
Maybe they could be competent if Saquon Barkley comes back on offense. And it's been how many years now since they've had like one good, since Odell, right?
Yeah.
They've had like one good wide receiver.
Yeah.
People like Jalen Hyatt, but I think he's banged up right now.
Connor, you talked about the disappointment that is Darren Waller this season.
Yeah.
He's their leading receiver.
Yeah. It's not surprising. He had like 3 garbage time catches last night. That was it.
Daniel Jones is their leading rusher.
Yeah, that's definitely not surprising.
And can I just get this take out there?
He's just fighting for his life on every play.
The Manning cast is much more enjoyable when Peyton and Eli actively hate what they're watching.
Yeah. Get Zach Wilson and Danny Dimes to play a game against each other, and they're just going to be like, oh no.
If you're gonna shovel me bad NFC East football, like make it the Giants, because Eli hates seeing the Giants lose, and Peyton hates watching quarterbacks who aren't able to play quarterback.
Yeah,
it bothers.
No, it physically hurts them.
Yeah, like why can you not do it? It's so easy.
The Zach Wilson one in Week 1 was hilarious. It was just really great television.
All right, that leads us to the least surprising.
Who stinks the most?
Number 1 team. It is their 3rd time on this list. I believe it is their 2nd in a row in this position.
Number 1.
Yes, it is.
Number 1.
It's the stinky Chicago Bears.
Bear down, Chicago Bears.
Oh, yeah, sure. They've lost 14 in a row. But, Connor, did you know the Chicago Bears are the only American professional sports team without a win since Elon Musk bought Twitter?
I did not know that. No.
They tied a franchise record for largest lead blown over the weekend. They have the worst defense in the NFC. Positive spin. We're going to polish this turd. They currently have the number 1 and number 2 draft picks.
Yes.
Quick turnaround? Or do you trust the organization to blow it?
Well, they got more problems that are going to be fixed than by just 2 guys, I think.
And finally, Chase Claypool. What's going on there?
What is going on
I don't have a lot of the details.
No, I haven't either.
They asked the Eberflus 20 consecutive questions on Sunday about Chase Claypool, and he didn't have an answer for them.
Yeah.
I think somebody slipped and said that he didn't want to play on Sunday, and then the team came out and said, I don't know, we're going to spin this. We told him not to play. And beyond that, I don't know what's going on there.
Sounds not toxic at all.
No.
Notably omitted from the list.
Yeah, hit me with the teams I missed.
Where are the Arizona Cardinals?
You know,
once again, actively not trying to win, but here might be Josh Dobbs.
Yeah, I think nobody told Josh Dobbs what the plan was, because they're not getting wins, but like they're hanging in games.
No sight of the New England Patriots.
I got my eye on them, though.
Okay.
Got my eye on them.
Contender.
If Cincinnati could pull out of this tailspin, it would really get the New England Patriots on
the
list.
Jets and the Raiders would probably be the other 2.
Jets, definitely. The Raiders,
things could completely blow up at any moment. At any moment. And obviously you don't have Jimmy G at the moment, so you're dealing with Aiden O'Connell. And Devontae Adams seems angry all the time.
Yeah, and
I don't want to be here.
Max Crosby seems angry.
Yep.
He's hitting people when he shouldn't.
Yep. So those are your teams that are trying to get on the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to get some recognition. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
That is the bottom 5, the worst 5 teams in the NFL. We'll return 1:00 hour. Still plenty to dive into, but we'll talk Illinois with Bob Asmussen of the Champaign News-Gazette next on 1620 The Zone.
For the Jays, the Huskers, and even you Jayskers, we are 1620 The Zone.
The cigar enthusiasts at Hearth Cigars and Pipes are a pretty diverse bunch of humans. Some enjoy an adult beverage or 2, others pass the time with a competitive yet friendly game of dominoes. Still others enjoy shooting some pool downstairs, while more than a few are just satisfied with each other's company. The common thread with all of them is the awesomeness that is their favorite cigar from the humidor. Hearth Cigars and Pipes, just off the 48th Street exit from I-680 at the corner of Mormon Bridge Road and McKinley, and at hearthcigars.com. Brent Rasmussen of Mortgage Specialists.
Does it matter where you get your pre-approval? As a consumer, you have lots of choices when it comes to getting a mortgage pre-approval. You can go online or a mortgage professional like Mortgage Specialists. However, not every lender is the same. Online processing tools can pre-approve you in minutes but it's more likely very inaccurate. We recommend that prospective buyers get pre-approved by a local lender. When you work with reputable local lenders, the pre-approval means what it means. You get a real evaluation of what you can borrow, and you and your real estate agent can have peace of mind through the entire process. Find out about pre-approvals and more when you subscribe to Mortgage Matters in Minutes on our YouTube channel. Just search Mortgage Specialists LLC.
Click mtg-specialists.com. NMLS number 5918, Equal Housing Lender.
An estimated 80% of Americans aren't getting their recommended daily amount of physical activity. It's time to move and keep moving, America. And when you need help, physical therapists and physical therapist assistants are by your side. Be your own champion. Choose more movement. Choose better health. Choose physical therapy. Find out more information and a physical therapist at choosept.com/NE. Brought to you by the American Physical Therapy Association of Nebraska.
Here's today's Husker Max Practice Report, brought to you by Tickets for Less on 1180 and 1620 The Zone.
Husker football head coach Matt Rule gave some injury updates ahead of Friday's game against Illinois.
Right in the swing of things, getting ready for Illinois Friday night on a short week. So we got a lot of work done yesterday, adjusting the week to get ready for a Friday night game. Just a couple injury updates. Deshaun Singleton hurt his knee. He'll be out for an extended period of time. I expect to have him back at some point. I don't know when that'll be. So Deshaun will be out this Friday. Luke Reimer out of the hospital, back and forth a little bit, so Luke won't play this Friday.
Rule said his team was not up to standard against Michigan.
Michigan's an excellent football team, but we could have played better than that. And I say we, because that's not me throwing the players under the bus. That's all of us. And I don't think there's a guy in that locker room that doesn't feel that way. That wasn't good enough. That wasn't good enough at all.
For The Zone, I'm Matt McMaster.
The Husker Max Practice Report, brought to you by Tickets for Less on 1180 and 1620 The Zone.
Attention all you Husker football fans. This season, get ready to cheer on your Huskers like never before. Tickets for Less is offering an exclusive deal that'll have you jumping out of your seat. Use the promo code THEZONE and save big on Husker tickets for every game, home and away. From the electrifying home opener to intense conference matchups, Tickets for Less has you covered. Don't miss a single moment of the gridiron action. Visit ticketsforless.com today. Use promo code THEZONE and secure your seat to witness the Huskers live on the field this season. Hurry, this offer won't last forever.
Dust. It's in the living room, the bedroom, and the bathroom. It's also in your lungs. Let's fix that, shall we? Duck Defense Midwest offers a comprehensive system that cleans, disinfects, filters, and purifies the air. They'll make your home healthier and improve the life of your HVAC system. So improve the health of your home and everyone in it. Go to cleanairradio.com right now for a special air duct cleaning offer for Zone listeners. cleanairradio.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. hims.com/radio.
Let it fly. Your elevated sports bar experience. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
Welcome back. More of the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Josh Hodson with you. We're joined now on the 42 Degrees, the Source Hotline by Bob Asmussen of the Champaign News-Gazette. Talking some Illinois football. Bob's joined us a couple times already, and now it is game week. Bob, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you guys?
Pretty good. So let's just set the scene here a little bit. These teams are both 2-3. They're in very, very similar positions, and it's set up for a Friday night game. Just what's the importance of this game from the Illinois side of things, and how much urgency have you seen them put into it already this week?
Oh, it's huge because they're not where they thought they would be. People here certainly thought they would beat Purdue last week, and they not only lost, but they lost bad. So I think the sense here is that this team is in trouble, and they have to win this game. It's not like they win it. It's like they must win it. It's maybe one of the most important games in Brett Bielema's career here, and he's not in trouble. He's got a 6-year contract. He's fine. It's more of the where's this season going. And right now, people are worried it's going to go the wrong way.
Yeah, I would say it feels, it feels pretty much exactly the same for Nebraska right now. The Matt Rule's in his first year, where Brett's been around for a couple now. I think the biggest surprise with most people as it pertains to Illinois this year is just what happened to the defense. Obviously, they lost some really key guys, and we saw Devin Witherspoon last night make plays on Monday Night Football, and that guy is a huge loss for them. But what is your best way to describe what has happened to the Illinois defense to start the season?
Well, you're right. I mean, those three players in the secondary, first, second, third round pick, impossible to replace. But I think they thought they had some guys that could help and not be as good as those guys, but close. That just hasn't happened. They've really been a victim of their own mistakes, bad turnovers. I mean, bad penalties. Ill-timed penalties. They've had some personal fouls on 3rd and 14, that kind of stuff. It happens over and over and over. Not sure why. You could say the coaching change has something to do with it because they lost, obviously, Ryan Walters is now at Purdue. But I don't think that's a big part of it. It's the same basic stuff. The rest of the guys, Brett Bielema is still in charge, so that's not the issue. I just think the parts don't fit right. And the front line, Johnny Newton, despite the fact where the team is, he's playing really well. He's playing like an All-American this year, but he's not getting a whole lot of help. It's just a problem. I'm not sure, and they don't have the depth isn't there. There's just a lot of things going wrong on that defense. Don't seem like easy fixes either.
It's crazy to see that they're so good up front, and they have Newton and Randolph, and both those guys have been such productive players in the past, but yet the rush defense is 108th in the country right now. They give up almost 180 yards a game on the ground. They're last in the Big Ten at the moment. It's crazy to sort of see that all match up against each other when you look at Illinois right now.
Yeah, I think part of it, and this is not a huge part of it. Part of it is who they played. Kansas, Jalen Daniels that night would have beaten anybody.
Yeah,
he was great, and that team was great, and you guys have seen them. So they're a special team. The way they play is special. Illinois struggles with a team like that, with the option quarterback guy that can move around a little bit. I think with Penn State, their offensive line is a lot better than I thought it would be, and they just were dominant. And the turnovers for Illinois were a huge problem. So I just think all a combination of everything. It's like everything that went right last year when they went 8-5, and it really could have been 10-3 or even 11 wins. Everything that went right last year is going wrong this year. So it's everything in it. Every chance they have to get a break, it goes the other way. They're not getting fumbles. They're not getting turnovers. They're not making the picks. They just miss those players back, but there's just so much going on that's not right.
What about the offensive side of the ball, where I think most people looked at it and they said, well, maybe you could expect a bit of a step back there. They've been good running the football this year, or I'm sorry, they've been okay running the football this year. It's been a not horrible offense all the way around, but there's struggles on that side of the ball too. Like, what's happening on the offensive side of the ball for Illinois right now?
Well, it's funny because you would have thought Luke Altmaier, the new quarterback, might be the issue. But other than that, he threw four picks against Penn State. That was a problem, obviously. But other than that, he's been pretty good, pretty steady, pretty solid. The offensive line has kind of been a mess, mostly because of their injury, but just some inconsistency. They lost two really good veteran players last year, but that shouldn't be a problem. I think that's an issue. The running game isn't quite as good because the line's struggling. And everything they try to do is off of that running game, just not there. They didn't have Reggie Love, three wasn't playing last week. That hurt him. Chase Brown was really, really good, and we knew that.
Yep.
But I think they thought the drop-off there wouldn't be that significant. Receivers are playing okay, but again, there's just too many missing parts, and the offensive line to me is a big issue. Altmaier's getting hit too many times. The runners aren't having enough space to run for. It just really big problems across the board that way.
So back to this game, and when you look across at Nebraska, obviously there's a whole bunch of. I mean, Nebraska has some big time offensive struggles right now. They're pretty one dimensional. Defensively, it's been okay, but Michigan gave them a really hard time this past Saturday. When you look at sort of how it matches up with Nebraska and two teams that are really struggling and they both need the win sort of equally, how do you feel like it matches up on Saturday or Friday?
Well, I do think Illinois will play better this week. Not so much as I think the opponent is a good fit for them because they don't have. I think if Nebraska was more two-dimensional on offense, that would be a problem for Illinois because they don't do well against running teams. But I think the fact that Nebraska really struggles as a passing team is helpful for Illinois because that's kind of where the flaws are in Illinois' defense. But I also think offensively, Illinois should be able to move the ball some. I think you'll see a whole lot of Isaiah Williams, the receiver, this week. I think he'll get the ball. If he didn't get the ball 10, 12 times, you got a problem. Because he's by far the most dynamic player on the team on the offensive side of the ball. He's a good player, can do a lot of things. Last week, he had a great first quarter, and then it went away from him. And I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe he's getting covered, but I don't think so. He's a pretty talented kid. So I think you'll see a lot of him. They'll try to be more like they were last year if they can do that. But against the struggle, if you can't move the people out of the way on the offensive line wise.
How unexpected was what happened to them last week at Purdue? Like, it just did that felt like it sort of came out of nowhere? I wasn't really sure what to expect going into that game, and to see 44-19, it was kind of jarring a little bit.
I picked Illinois win that game by 7 points.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be a close, low-scoring game. Teams kind of defensively coming together. And Ryan Walters obviously wanted to beat Illinois in the worst way because it's old school.
Sure.
But he really kept scoring. I think that game, I tell you what, that game now is going to be a lot of fun going forward because they're going to play every year. I think that team's good. That's going to Illinois has lost to Purdue 3 years in a row, kind of surprisingly, and it's going to be a big deal. But yes, I was stunned by this is the manner of the way that, especially Purdue in the second half, dominated that game like I have not seen Illinois dominated during Bielema's era. They've not looked that bad in his era in 3 years, and they just looked like they weren't either. I want to say weren't trying, but they were not effective in anything they were trying to do.
That one
was a
certainly,
mess.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere. Bob Asmussen of the Champaign News-Gazette. Okay, Bob. Well, we'll let you go. We appreciate you coming on the show a couple times in the lead up to this one. It's a big one on Friday. Hope you enjoy it.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
That is Bob Asmussen of the Champaign News-Gazette. So, Illinois, once again, this is where we get stoppable force versus movable object. Illinois defensively, rush defense, 179.6 yards per game, good for 108th in the country, last in the Big Ten. Pass defense, giving up about 240 yards a game, 86th in the country, 12th in the Big Ten out of 14. Total defense, giving up almost 420 yards a game, 109th in the country, last in the Big Ten. Scoring defense, giving up over 30 points a game, 102nd in the country, last in the Big Ten. They're basically last in every statistical category in the Big Ten Conference right now. I guess some of it is who you've played, but Nebraska hasn't had all that dissimilar of a schedule so far. I mean, they played Michigan, Illinois played Penn State. KU is that pretty similar to, where Nebraska played Colorado? Kind of. Those are kind of, similar, comparable. Toledo, they played a MAC team. Nebraska played Northern Illinois, FAU. Nebraska played Louisiana Tech, Purdue. Nebraska played Minnesota. I mean, there's your lineup right there. It's the same thing. They've done the same. They've done the same thing, but Illinois has been far worse off on defense so far. Offensively, it's not great either. And so, I like the sort of urgency that Nebraska sort of has going into this game. If you look at Nebraska, and I know we talk about them, how does it stack up against a normal sort of team? Nebraska still is, pretty well up there in some defensive statistics. 14th in the country in rush defense still after getting run all over by Michigan this past week. Could have been worse, right? Obviously, Nebraska's offense is way down there, with exception to their run game, which they're running for over 209 yards. 209. They're running for exactly 209 yards a game this season, which is 13th in the country and number 1 in the Big Ten. Obviously, the one-dimensional aspect changes things. The one thing that sort of makes you curious, because I think on paper it looks like Nebraska to me, but we talk about playmakers and difference makers, and they have Newton and they have Randolph. Like Newton's like going to be a top 10 pick. They have Randolph. They have Isaiah Williams. Bob said, "Hey, look, they're going to give it to Isaiah Williams." And then Reggie Love's been a pretty good back as well. They might have more guys, right? So if this game comes down to a guy or two making a play, you might have to give the edge to Illinois in that category.
I won't do it.
But Josh is not interested. He doesn't care about your facts. All right, thanks to Bob for joining us. We'll come back with more next on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is and has always been locally owned and operated. Now, with 160 employee owners, chances are one of us lives in your neighborhood. We take pride in taking care of you, our customers, and keeping you comfortable all year round. And as always, our technicians don't have sales quotas. When other companies send salespeople, Standard sends qualified technicians. It's just part of.
Carrier, turn to the experts. Sports fans, Let It Fly Sports Bar is your elevated sports bar experience. Located in the Capital District in downtown Omaha. Experience Let It Fly's unique brand of hospitality with 2 floors, 2 bars, 2 expansive outdoor patios, and an in-house podcast studio with live broadcast of the Let It Fly show. Hosted by me, Michael Severe, and Josh Jones. Host your next college game day watch party, private event, weekend brunch getaway, or a date night right here at the Let It Fly Sports Bar. Try our delicious brunch menu and reserve your seat for the game.
Hi, everybody. Kent Pavelka here to talk about your local concrete experts at Everlevel Concrete Repair. Now, if you have cracked or uneven concrete, Everlevel can do it all with their complete repair solutions. They fix cracks, lift sunken slabs, and protect the surface, all at a fraction of the price compared to replacement. And better yet, they offer long-term transferable warranties. I'm so glad I chose Everlevel for my driveway. Give them a call for your free inspection. That's Everlevel, Everlevel, Everlevel. Try saying that 3 times fast.
Creighton Sports Update. Calling all youth soccer players. Join us at Morrison Stadium tonight for Youth Soccer Night in Omaha. It's a perfect night for soccer as the Creighton Blue Jays take on the Omaha Mavericks at 6 o'clock. Kids 12 and under receive complimentary admission with the purchase of an adult ticket. Just enter code YNO at gocreighton.com/buy. And that's your Creighton Sports Update.
1620 The Zone proudly supports Creighton Athletics.
The pandemic is over, but COVID-19 is here to stay. In fact, it's still among the top 5 leading causes of death in the U.S., just after heart disease and cancer. So this fall, stay up to date with the latest COVID-19 vaccines, just like you do with the flu, because you've got no time for 19. The vaccine may not be for everyone. Please consult with your doctor. Brought to you by Moderna.
Does eating at home have you singing the blues? Stop by Cobb's at the Shadow Lake Town Center, 180th and Center, or 72nd and Jones to grab a delicious pizza, burgers, fresh salad, and some tasty charred wings. They even offer keto crusts and an extensive variety of shareable appetizers. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. Cobb's, now with 3 convenient locations to serve you. Shadow Lake Town Center, 180th and Center, and 72nd and Jones. Click cobbspizza.com to see the menu, pizza, and so much more.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here with Dr. Lance Kugler of Kugler Vision. You know, it's been 5.5 years since I had my procedure done at Kugler Vision. I remember going in for the eye analysis and finding out, hey, there's something other than LASIK. That seems to be such a misnomer with so many people, but that's not always the case because there are actually 7 forms of modern vision correction.
Sure, yeah, and obviously LASIK is a huge part of what we do, but as technology improves over the years, over the decades, we continue to add different technologies that become better options for people depending on what they need.
Yeah, and one of the things that I found absolutely incredible was the eye analysis process. You want to know as much about anyone's eyes as you can, because that's how you figure out which of those procedures are going to qualify for.
Yeah, our eye analysis process is the most thorough evaluation of your eye that you can possibly have. We all have the same goal. We want you to see as well as you possibly can.
Schedule an eye analysis today. You can visit their website, KuglerVision.com.
PACE, Police Athletics for Community Engagement Organization, is dedicated to preventing at-risk and disadvantaged inner-city children from becoming involved in street gangs, crime, drug use, and victimization.
Flag football for ages 8 to 14 runs through October 20th, and PACE needs sponsors to help pay for refs, jerseys, and other equipment. Go to paceomaha.org to help. And thank you for your support from PACE.
Please go to paceomaha.org to support the PACE mission. Thank you.
The baseball playoffs will start in a half hour. Woohoo! Earlier in the week, we talked about that noise. Oh, my watch decided it was going to start a timer for a half hour. Nice job.
Okay.
Apple.
Interesting. We'll be done by then.
But we talked about remember that we talked about the noise, the collectively everybody going, yeah. I came to the conclusion this morning while watching the Delman Young double again. So Delman Young, 2014, the Orioles are in the playoffs against the Tigers. Joakim Soria decides to come in with the bases loaded. Shocking, I know. And Delman Young, first pitch, hits a slider down the left field line. And they're down 6-4 at the time. 1 run scores, 2 run scores. And the 3rd run scores to take the lead. I think I made the decision this morning upon watching that for the 1 millionth time that scoring from first to take the lead is the most exciting thing you could do in baseball.
Interesting take. Everyone's going to say home run.
What do you think about that? Oh, no, they're wrong about that. Home run's not even in like the top 5.
Oh, wow. I like the take because you know if that guy's fast enough to do it or not. You're always like, oh.
Is he going to make it?
If the guy throws a strike, he's dead meat.
Right. Which is what made the Alex Gordon 2014 Game 7 World Series situation so crazy. Because that would have tied the game, but it would have been an inside the park home run. There was a whole bunch of bobbles out there. He got held at third, and Brandon Crawford would have had to make a really good throw, and to get him at the plate, or an okay throw to get him at the plate. But that's people's argument, right? This is just a generally exciting play, and you win it or lose it right there. You tie it or lose it right there. And I would hear that argument. I still don't think they should have sent him, by the way. But I did watch the Delman Young thing for probably the 1,000th time. It's a great moment in Orioles history. I hope we get some more great Orioles moments this postseason. I'm officially on the Orioles bandwagon.
That's a good team. I think America's going to find themselves rooting for the Orioles this October. Poll question up at Happer Show. Did you watch the Delman Young double again this morning?
Today's the 9-year anniversary of the Delman Young double.
I think you're going to be on an island on that one.
Come on, guys. I retweeted it this morning. Does anybody have a take about this? Because if you're just going to let me get away with it, then I'm fine. I'll just leave it. Scoring from first to take the lead is the most exciting thing you could do in baseball. If nobody wants to argue with me, great. We'll just move on because Josh has got a great story to tell.
America's going to say home run.
America's wrong.
I agree. America
don't represent him. I want someone to come at me and tell me that it's home run so I can eviscerate you immediately. But I'll wait till somebody does.
I love how dug in you are on this immediately.
Yeah, home runs.
Great.
Home runs are not exciting inherently.
I've watched the Braves hit 307 of them this season.
Yeah, I bet it was boring as hell.
It was not. It also padded my bank account quite nicely because you can just bet random guy to hit a home run and it's probably going to hit.
Now, to be fair, anything that happens in like the late innings of a postseason game, whether it's a home run or not, is just inherently exciting. So if you're putting anything in that situation, it's probably going to end up that way. But I love watching a guy. Oh my God, he's around, especially like if you're in the ballpark. Okay, he's around second. He's getting waved. Like you could tell it's going to happen like 15 to 20 seconds before it actually happens.
Tyler on YouTube.
Hello, Tyler on YouTube
says infield home run, inside the park home run.
Good one. I'll accept that.
Ray suggests suicide squeeze.
Oh, that could be relatively anticlimactic because usually there's not a play at the plate if you get the bunt down.
Mm-hmm.
but a guy running toward home with right at a guy with a bat in his hand. Yeah, that's something.
Great drama.
That's something. Okay, let's actually take a break here because we got one more thing to do. Josh has to tell you something that happened to him while we were talking to Bob there.
Yeah, sure.
We'll do that when we return.
I got stories
on 1620 The Zone. But first, snap into NFL action this season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. And all you have to do is place a $5 bet. $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. So if you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get on the action. Look at the slate that we have for this weekend or for Thursday night, for Monday night. Soon enough, it'll be cold outside. There'll be Saturday games all over the place. Props, anytime touchdown scorers, interception throwers. I mean, it's all over the place on the FanDuel Sportsbook. That's why you got to join. And if you're a new customer, join now. $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. Visit FanDuel.com/Happer. Kick off the NFL season the right way with FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. 21 and over, present in Iowa. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
Would you cheer against your team if it meant the team they were playing could make history? No. Hell no.
If I have the chance to witness something amazing happen, then I'd rather that happen, even if it's at the expense of my team.
Even in the championship game?
That is a terrible
take. Yeah.
I like my team and I like rooting for my team, but I'd rather experience the history just to say that I saw that, Like I was there.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast presented by Bellevue Berry and Pumpkin Ranch from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Your Tuesday morning forecast will include partly cloudy to mostly cloudy conditions, remaining mild throughout the morning and early afternoon. Spotty showers possible as we progress throughout the late afternoon and early evening. Afternoon highs topping in the upper 70s and lower 80s. More chances of strong to severe storms west of the metro for later on this evening into the overnight. I'm meteorologist Anthony Copeland for KETV News Watch 7.
More with Connor and Josh after this.
We're going to have an extensive professional relationship, my man.
On 1620 The Zone.
If we know anything, it's that local matters. Local shops, local restaurants, even locally brewed beers. October is Drink Local Month. So the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild is challenging beer, seltzer, and cider drinkers like you to put your palate through its paces and drink local brews. Because seriously, Nebraska is really on the cutting edge when it comes to brewers who think outside the box. And besides, you really want to be drinking what they drink over in Iowa? Didn't think so. Click nebraska.beer to find brews near you.
Email us on the Equitable inbox with whatever is on your mind. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. You can hit me up, agree, disagree, tell me your thoughts on life at Hanley@1620thezone.com. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
The pandemic is over, but COVID-19 is here to stay. In fact, it's still among the top 5 leading causes of death in the U.S., just after heart disease and cancer. So this fall, stay up to date with the latest COVID-19 vaccines, just like you do with the flu, because you've got no time for 19. The vaccine may not be for everyone. Please consult with your doctor. Brought to you by Moderna.
Attention taxpayers, ready for some bad news? With $80 billion in new funding from Congress, the IRS has launched their most aggressive hiring campaign ever to ramp up enforcement. If you're ignoring your taxes, don't delay another minute because your paycheck, your bank account, even your home or business could already be at risk. Now, here's the good news. Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm, can get to work immediately, helping to protect you from the IRS. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, their tax attorneys and licensed professionals are experts at resolving tax problems. Let them help determine if you qualify for the Fresh Start Initiative or other powerful IRS tax assistance programs. Take control. Call Optima Tax Relief now for a free consultation.
Call 800-567-2261. 800-567-2261. 800-567-2261.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aw, he just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Nos vamos a divertir mucho.
And that means we're going to have a lot of fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Make the right call, fans. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Rooferees.
Cue the big and rich, because NASCAR has announced that the Cup Series is making its appearance at Iowa Speedway, just down the road.
Come on!
But when, Josh? That's June 16th, the first Saturday of the first Sunday of the College World Series.
Father's Day?
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
Wow.
It's a big announcement for the state over there. And I don't know the history of the track. I was surprised to learn that it hasn't hosted Cup Series events before, but I believe that is the case. They host like the second tier, the Xfinity Series.
Okay,
I believe, because it's a smaller like capacity. But yes, they will be hosting the big show in June.
The people
will come from
Paul White, the giant,
no,
Captain Insano?
Not that giant guy with the onesie on. No, okay. Not that guy. I do love that guy though. They should host him too. But no, they're getting a big NASCAR race. I don't know what they're calling it though. Could be fun.
Oh, let's think of some ideas. Let's think of some names.
The Caitlin Clark 400.
Not bad. Not
Perfect.
a bad start.
I think we just go with that one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Josh.
Okay.
So you often answer the phone when the phone rings, and
when I can catch it on the whack-a-mole phone system we have,
people often will just tell you what's on their mind, which is a good practice, by the way. Josh is going to want to know what you're going to say before you go on the air.
Really, I just want to know. I just need to know you can string together a sentence.
Yeah.
With
so
your mouth.
Either way, he's testing you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always an adventure when we go down that road. We take calls from people. And Josh, there are some that don't make it to air for a variety of different reasons.
Sure.
And there was one of them that happened while we were doing our previous interview.
Yes. Bob was talking with Connor. I picked up the phone, and a young man said that he wanted to talk about Caleb Williams. And his question was, hey, why wouldn't Caleb Williams go to the NFL? You can get paid there. And I said, well, he's actually making more in NIL than the rookie contract would allow.
To be very clear, I believe like he's going to go to the NFL, but the theory is out there.
It's a bluff,
right?
And this caller said, "Well, what about endorsements? You can get endorsements and commercials and make money from that." And
to that, I would say, well, you could get endorsements in college. That's what NIL is.
He's got that now.
Mm-hmm.
Guaranteed money is better than
potential money. That's quite literally what NIL is.
Yes. And then I said, okay, sure. Like
you don't need to respond to this. You can just say, hey, you want to go on the air?
Yeah. You want to call back after we're done talking with Bob here, and we'll let you talk about it. We'll get into it. He says, oh, are you disagreeing with me? And I responded, no, I don't care. Because spoiler alert, I don't care what you want to say on the radio.
Right.
Like,
it's really not about that.
It's a very rickety gate that I keep.
Yeah.
Between you and the radio.
I am good with that, by the way.
Yeah.
That's fine with me.
Yeah. And he said,
let them all in.
And he responds, which, okay, maybe it wasn't a very clear sentence that I said, but he said, oh, you don't care? Well, I'm never listening again. And he hung up the phone. And I said, well, okay, talk to you tomorrow.
Way to go, Josh. You screwed us over, a listener.
Could I have been a little more direct with my sentence? I don't care what you have to say. It works for our radio show. Please, let's do this, but at a later time.
You didn't have the time to chase him.
Yeah,
you'd be like, "Hey, come back!" Actually, we want you to say what
I'm trying to say as few words as possible in this room while Connor is doing a radio show.
There's also that piece of it too. Yeah. Wow. Well, thanks for gatekeeping, Josh.
Well,
it's appreciated.
Someone on YouTube who goes by The Intersect says, "Josh has resting I don't care face."
When Josh answers the phone, he always wears whatever he's feeling, I think, on his sleeve and on his face actually quite well.
Because I can't emote verbally to the caller, so I emote physically with a face or knocking my head back or
So you could always tell when something's going on.
You picked up on that, huh?
Yeah. Sometimes you just throw your arms up in the air.
Oh, this old person's going to give me their take and tell me how long they've been a Husker
No,
fan.
let me stop you there. Just go ahead. You could say this to Connor. I don't need to hear it.
In 1955, they said that so-and-so couldn't beat Oklahoma.
So that's as good of a plea as any. Call into the radio show. It could be fun. You get to talk to Josh. If you make it through Josh, you get to talk to me. All right. Poll questions tell you what to watch on the other side on 1620 The Zone.
Now live on Twitch, YouTube, and 1620thezone.com.
Say goodbye to summer and hello to cash loans. Let's face it, your personal banker probably won't loan you thousands of dollars today, but Saul's Jewelry and Loan will. Simply bring in your boat, camper, RV, jet ski, ATV, motorcycle, even your beautiful convertible, along with a clear title, and Saul's will loan you up to $50,000. No credit check, no hassle, and more importantly, no worries. Saul's indoor storage facility is so clean and secure, you can store your precious Harley-Davidson for the winter and pick it up next spring. So if you need a quick cash loan, Saul's is here to help.
Make the right call. John Higgins Weather Guard, the home of the roofery.
When it's time to replace or repair storm damage, make the right call. John Higgins Weather Guard, the local, trusted, and proven choice. No one has installed more Da Vinci roofs, and there's a reason why John Higgins Weather Guard is the nation's leader. Community member, community supporter. Make the right call.
John Higgins Weather Guard, the home of the rooferys. Make the right call.
At EasyCater, we know ordering food for work can get complicated pretty fast.
We're going to need breakfast for the entire office on Thursday.
Janet wants really nice bagels.
Make sure some are gluten-free.
Make sure they have great coffee.
Can there also be waffles?
Janet has a hard stop at 9:30.
$15 a person
I'm going to need
max.
itemized receipts for this. Is the budget for breakfast different than the budget? It's just going to grab and go. Fine. Company breakfast? Just use EasyCater. Food for work delivered on time as ordered with a huge variety. 100,000 restaurants, one platform. Order 24/7 at easycater.com.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Here's today's Husker Max Practice Report, brought to you by Tickets for Less on 1180 and 1620 The Zone.
Husker football head coach Matt Rule gave some injury updates ahead of Friday's game against Illinois.
Right in the swing of things, getting ready for Illinois Friday night on a short week. So we got a lot of work done yesterday, adjusting the week to get ready for a Friday night game. Just a couple injury updates. Deshaun Singleton hurt his knee. He'll be out for an extended period of time. I would expect to have him back at some point. I don't know when that'll be. So Deshaun will be out this Friday. Luke Reimer out of the hospital, back and forth kind of a little bit, so Luke won't play this Friday.
Rule said his team was not up to standard against Michigan.
Michigan's an excellent football team, but we could have played better than that. And when I say we, because that's not me throwing the players under the bus. That's all of us. And I don't think there's a guy in that locker room that doesn't feel that way. That wasn't good enough. That wasn't good enough at all.
For The Zone, I'm Matt McMaster.
The Husker Max Practice Report, brought to you by Tickets for Less on 1180 and 1620 The Zone.
Attention all you Husker football fans. This season, get ready to cheer on your Huskers like never before. Tickets for Less is offering an exclusive deal that'll have you jumping out of your seat. Use the promo code THEZONE and save big on Husker tickets for every game, home and away. From the electrifying home opener to intense conference matchups, Tickets for Less has you covered. Don't miss a single moment of the gridiron action. Visit ticketsforless.com today. Use promo code THEZONE and secure your seat to witness the Huskers live on the field this season. Hurry, this offer won't last forever.
There's nothing like football season here in Nebraska. Hi, this is Sunny.
And I'm Darwin with DJ's Dugout.
During football season, a portion of our sales at DJ's will be donated to the new Nebraska Vietnam Veterans Memorial Project being built in Papillion.
As a Vietnam veteran, I'm proud for DJ's to support the new Nebraska Vietnam Veterans Memorial.
To learn more about this meaningful project, visit nvvmf.org. DJ's Dugout is locally and Vietnam veteran owned.
Vala's Pumpkin Patch and Apple Orchard has something fun for all ages. Come take a ride on their antique cars called Stefan's Country Drive, where the kids are the drivers. This year they have 2 new rides called Freya's Egg Spinners and Cousin Lauren's Racing Pigs. Visit the cider mill area where you can have a drink of their refreshing apple cider and taste some of our delicious barbecue at Ethan's Applewood Smokehouse. Vala's has over 50 other attractions included with admission. Vala's is the place to visit this fall.
All right, poll questions at Happer Show on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. Yesterday at the end of the show, we asked one, did you know the actors were on strike? I didn't. It was news to me.
Wow. It's just...
And it was news to 36% of the voting audience.
Bit of an upset.
Didn't get over 50, but I got some people in my corner.
Mm-hmm.
Do you subscribe to Peacock? Yes or no? I do, because I subscribe to everything.
I do as well.
62% say no.
I actually like Peacock. I think it's a pretty good service. It has a lot of different options.
There's some good stuff on there.
Yeah. Most voted on poll question of the day, by the way.
Are the only 2 seasons in Nebraska pool and haunted house?
No, but
there's more than that.
I think we eventually got to the right answer, but that wasn't it.
62% say no. Do Santas and haunted houses overlap?
No, but they could.
72% say no. Do you want to sit on zombie Santa's lap? No.
No, that's terrifying.
81%. Requiem for a Dream, yes or no? I haven't seen it, so no. 60% say no. Do you have trouble getting a clean tear on toilet paper? No. Every poll question that is no today.
6 and 0 is no today.
75% say no. And finally, did you watch the Delman Young double again this morning?
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah,
I'm gonna say yes because that's my answer. But 76% say no.
Wow,
at this point,
that might be the most lopsided day ever for yes.
We've never had that many no's.
And let me try and get the wording right. Is this the worst yes has ever looked? The most helpless yes has ever looked in a single day.
Don't ask that question on Twitter. I remember May 15th, 2022. All right, what are we watching tonight?
Today is the final day without football until the day before Thanksgiving. So
hell yeah, let's
get through it with a little baseball. How about it? Rangers and the Rays start here in a matter of minutes on ABC. If you are not familiar with the rules of this newfangled wild card series, allow me to refresh it real quick. Best of 3, all at one site, no days off.
I love that.
Now
I don't like. Now I want to say that I don't love the fact that we have so many playoff teams and that we have to have a wild card series. But for what it is, the setup is good.
Yeah, if they're going to do it, this is the way to do it. 3:30 on ESPN, Blue Jays Twins. Do the Twins win a game?
Yes.
I think so too.
This is the year.
This is the year.
They at least win one.
America's team travels to Milwaukee to take on the Brew Crew at 6 o'clock on ESPN2. And the Marlins take on the Phillies at 7 o'clock on ESPN. 5 o'clock on E tonight. Connor, it is October 3rd, which is famously when Katie asked Aaron what day it is. So Mean Girls is on E tonight.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, great movie. New show debuts on NBC tonight at 9 o'clock. It is called Found. A kidnapping survivor.
It's like the opposite of Lost.
Yes, Found. It's a sequel series. A kidnapping survivor turned public relations maven dedicates her life to finding missing persons with the help of Mark Paul Gosselaar, Zach Morris.
Of course.
And finally, on Prime, it's called Make Me Scream. Jaleel White.
We can't talk about that, Josh.
We can't?
No. Make Me Scream?
Make Me Scream? Jaleel White, better known to America as Urkel, and rapper Lil Xan, X-A-N?
Yeah, I believe that is correct.
Okay. Leads celebrity teams through a gruesome game of terror.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
That is what we're watching tonight. That's the show. If you missed anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. The crossover's next.
Live from the host